Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to round 3 of the Junction 6 NKC. We're at Whilton Mill this weekend, and it is one of the premier tracks in UK karting. That brings us here. Round 3 of the championship, which means timed qualifying, which has just kicked off. We've got the Inter-Rotax qualifying session underway. They are down to their final 2 minutes. And at the moment, Alfie Phillipson is the driver that's leading that field, but that's going to change in the next 1 minute and 50 seconds or so. So it gives me a good opportunity to introduce myself. I'm Joe Bradley, as ever, and alongside me, as ever, is my erstwhile colleague Nick Damon. Nick, Whilton Mill again. It wouldn't be an NKC championship, or it wouldn't be an NKC without a trip to Whilton Mill sometime in the year, would it?
I don't think there'd be any championship without a trip.
That's
to
right.
Whilton Mill. Everyone loves to come to Whilton Mill. Centrally located. Easy to get to. Parking's appalling, but hey ho.
Well, you can't have everything.
No, you can't have everything.
I mean, the track's phenomenal. That section there that we see on screen, that's into Oblivion the left-hander, then Crook the right-hander. That starts the lap, and one of the fastest sections of kart track that you'll ever drive around. That's Christmas Corner out at the far end of the track, and that's certainly, it's not quite a hairpin. In fact, it's a very open right-hander, and then as you can see across the infield there, beautifully manicured lawns here at Whilton Mill.
Should we do something a bit different?
What do you mean?
Well, rather than just pointing and... Should we actually do a lap of the track? Can you commentate on a lap of the track?
That's a great idea. Now then, Nico Webers was very nice of Nico to give us access to his onboard camera from practice yesterday. So here we are, just coming out of the boot.
Oh, I've changed it, sorry.
Down to the woods, down to you haven't, have you not? That's the chicane, the new chicane, but he was starting the lap, so across the line here, you'll see the start gallery there, that's the timing board, into Oblivion, using all of the curb, little bit of curb on the right, all of the exit curb, because that's all important momentum there. It's slightly uphill here into Christmas Corner, so you can carry a lot of speed there. Nico hitting his apex as well, and then down the hill towards Ashby, which is a kind of an off-camber corner that you can easily get wrong, but Nico through that again using all of the exit curb, and then on to Parker, the left-hander, short burst on the accelerator into the left-hander at Chapman, which has an exit curb there, and then you're on the back section here, Paddock just to the right, into the boot section here, tight left into a opening right-hander. That is completely different now since the changes, and this is the new chicane here at Whilton Mill, which is a little bit controversial. Some people hate it, some people love it. It's certainly a point of action here, as we'll see on our footage from the live action coming up. We've got all of our qualifying to get through for all of our classes. The Inter-Rotax class has just finished, and it will be indeed Alfie Phillipson who retained that pole position from Zane Williams, who will start alongside Ethan Manzi, Jack Daniels, Bradley Beggs, Callum Miller, Thomas Gulliver, Travis Owens, Freya Bond, Oscar Tarsi rounding off the top 10. And then we have the first of the Kostler twins, Rishan, going quicker this time in 11th, Ayrton Goldsworthy 12th, Kian Kostler in 13th, Oriella Simpson 14th, Billy Barnes 15th, Lucas Gray, Maya Maru, Max Tomzit and Deacon Thomas. A 19-kart field for Inter, Nick, and it's kind of a burgeoning class.
It's growing all the time
for the NKC.
Well, I think it's growing really well. I mean, they had what the average about was a crow trying to. Is that an omen of some sort of black crow flap hovering around the front of the commentary booth?
No idea. Medieval black magic.
Yes, that's right. I can't remember. I think crows sometimes they're seen as good and sometimes they're bad, aren't they? Got kind of a mixed, split personality on the crow front.
Well, if you're a Game of Thrones fan, a raven could have been bringing us a
message.
But
is this an NKC thing? We had that oyster catcher at Rowra, and now we've got a crow here. Anyway, let's go back to...
The crow, unfortunately, is not on the screen for everyone at home to see.
No, it's not. We will, of course, find a crow for you if we can. But obviously, because it's about the... no, Inter-Rotax is a growing class, absolutely. The 19 entries is significantly up. I think the best we did last year was 13 or 14, and the most was 10, and it's averaging really, really well. Obviously, people are seeing it as a useful step up. I think perhaps the Rotax route is being adopted a little bit earlier, whereas before people weren't really jumping into junior.
Well, it's that intermediate class, which is why it's called Inter, would you believe?
Really?
Between Micromax and juniors, which fits the age group of 10 to 12.
TKM?
It is
It's
TKM.
our Smoky Joe's.
Yeah, TKM being released out for their 6-minute qualifying session. 6 minutes on what at the moment is a dry track.
Do you know what? I wanted to talk about the weather. I'm so glad you've let me, because I'm sitting here as you are. It's not outside. It's what, 15 degrees.
Yeah, it's not
We
warm.
are both sweating like it's so muggy. My glasses are steaming up. It's so muggy here.
And that's because of the moisture that's building in the air, Nick.
Yes.
Which tends to
For the
bring...
rain. We've had rain all morning. Then it dried up, and the track really dries really quickly. And then we had a bit more rain.
Look at the sky on the screen. If we have a look
more
round our
sky,
cameras.
there's more sky there.
There's more grey sky.
In fairness to the actual camera people, they're doing their actual job and covering carts. So, for example, this is with cart 3. Is that 3? That is 3, isn't it?
That is 3. It's Mitchell Ball.
Mitchell Ball on the 3. Coming
who
through
is trying to fool us here because... No, that's number 3. That's number 9.
Number 9.
Number 9
that is fooling me then, isn't it?
Is Jake Cox.
But
we were following the number 3.
Yeah. Oh, is he...
As the field go around. Now then,
grass.
have we got a splash of rain? Because that car just fired off,
Nothing
didn't
really on the... there's nothing I can really see on the windows, I'll be honest with you.
No. The E plate there is Ian Calichurn.
What's E stand for?
English plate.
Ah.
Now then, I have already been into the paddock and
Have
had
you?
a wander around and had a chat to people. And Ian Calichurn, who is doing this as a one-off,
Right.
because he's trying to put together a deal to do some Formula 4 car racing.
All right.
And he was telling me it is an absolute fortune.
Yes, I
So
can imagine.
his family is from Mauritius.
Oh, okay.
And he's got a lot. He's building up a lot of contacts. So we wish this young man very well. He's here to try and win the O plate. I said to him, as you'll find in the paddock show, which goes out tomorrow. I said, "What are you going to do if you win the O plate? You're going to have to come back." And he kind of looked at me and thought, "Yeah, you're probably right. I probably am." So 2 minutes already clicked by. At the front of the field, or at the top of the timing screen, I should say, Al Patterson. Now, Al Patterson, you remember, we had a great interview with Al in the Rowra Paddock show, and Al went on to have an absolutely fantastic weekend. He was quite dominant and very, very hard to beat. All right, circumstances did prevail, and he was able to get away at the front of the field in the final. But he was really, really on the pace all day long, very much a front runner. And Al, on the number 27, currently the quickest in the field. That's the number 4 and the number 9 that's circling together. That's Joe Booth, and the number 9 has gone to the top of the screen there. And he's quickly demoted by the number 10. All seated drivers.
Drops on the camera, Joe.
Drops on the camera, so it is, yes.
And drops on the window.
Oh, so the light rain has come.
Yes, we have light rain.
So what was the weather forecast, by the way, Nick? You said just before we came on air.
It's definitely going to rain, or it might not. It was like it's a big peak of rain, which is about now. We've had rain on and off all day, to be honest. And the interesting thing is how quickly this track dries.
Well, Joe Booth has just put in the provisional poll, 50.039. We've now got light rain just sort of fluttering down out of the sky. You can see how deep and in fact we've got the slippery surface flag on the digiboards all the way around the circuit.
That's going to make the rest of this qualifying a bit pointless.
That's going to make this absolutely, Nick. That's exactly what I was going to say. I'm just going to see what sort of lap time Joe Booth puts in to see if he's anywhere near the 50-second lap time that we've just seen. 53.7. That's it. The track's gone.
Yeah.
They're out on slicks, by the way. Of course they are, because that was bone dry when they went out.
Certainly
the
was.
rain has come. Oh, look at that. Charlie King proves me completely wrong with a 49.585.
He's a water baby.
Yeah, absolutely. The slight speckles of rain have made no difference to the number 7 Charlie King. Now, is that Charlie there that I can see? No, that's the number 1 Jamie Scott, the third kart in that train. As we watch the two flex karts, the yellow and blue karts, trail around behind the number 38. The number 38 being, he's gone. As I look at him on my screen, that's Sean Abbott being chased around by the two flex karts, one of which is just overtaken. But 49.294 for Matthew Harris now, who's gone to the top. So the track is still there. The track has not gone at all. I was talking rubbish. Nothing out of character there. The track is still very much there. And with a 49, a very low 49 as well. It's gone down to a 49.294. That's a 49.3, let's call it, to round it off. We've got a little bit of cooperation going on. Now, that is the
what's
24.
happened, though, is if you look at the window, it's immediately dried again. So you've got a sprinkle of the rain, enough to put a kind of dirty marks on our camera, but more importantly, it's now stopped again.
Well, that was the forecast. It might rain, but it might not.
And it does. And it didn't. And
it did, and it didn't.
And it stopped.
Absolutely. Yeah, very strange. 30 seconds on the clock, so we're getting there. And circulating in a pack of carts and not really optimising your line is not really how you're going to put in a pole lap, unless, I mean, is a tour around here a significant thing? Certainly up the hill towards Christmas it is. I mean the corner, not the period of time.
It's the weird thing, you're right, absolutely. You get these qualifying trains, you're thinking, well, there's no, you're not going to do anything. The only person who might do something is the person who's second. They drop off the person who's first a bit and then just catch up a few hundredths by going and get a bit closer. Just in a queue, well, you can only go as fast as the slowest person in the queue, can't you?
Sam King across the line to take the checkered flag. His qualifying is over. He's in 5th. Matthew Harris still the car to beat with a 49. Wow.
Everyone's
he's
gone
just
fast,
put in a 48.9.
It just dried up at that last, but everyone's gone faster.
Alexander Lehman on the O plate, starting off where he means to continue. We're waiting for Charlie King to come across the line. He's currently 4th. He does. He stays in 4th. It was a 49.1 that last time round, not as quick as his quickest lap time. However, Alexander Lehman on the O plate is here to retain that O plate by putting that kart on the provisional pole. I say provisional, Nick, because let's just explain. He was the quickest on the track. However, we've got to now inspect the karts for eligibility and regulations, etc. And if he clears tech inspection, he will start this afternoon with the first heat for TKM is this afternoon, which we will bring you here on Karting Live TV. Live
we haven't
this
really
afternoon.
said what's going on. We're running through qualifying because it's not mixed grids, it's qualifying for the O plate, and we've got 6 heats, 6 competitive heats, starting around about 4ish, I think.
Yeah, almost a 2-day race meeting on Karting Live TV.
And then we give you 6 heats tomorrow. We have 8 more heats, then we have 8 super heats, and then we have the finals. So there's super heats.
Harrison Crooks just walked in the box.
Has he?
He's come here pinching trophies.
I know.
He's just coming here for
177 trophy hunting.
Yes.
There's a queue of...
he's been off racing in other categories. We'll have a look at him in his qualifying session. He's here, is Harrison, with TH Corsa, of course, wanting to nick the O plate. There's the TKMs, though. Their qualifying is over. There's the E plate of Ian Calichurn.
I think they're going to actually weigh every single one, aren't they?
Yes, everybody gets weighed. Yeah. Yeah, you want to get weight. You want to make sure that you're on the weight as close as you can be.
I'd like to be lighter.
You what, sorry?
I'd like to be lighter.
I think
the rain's back again.
There would be no chance of us being
So this
lighter.
is interesting. This is going to be an interesting situation for who's next out, because you've got the running order.
It's 177A.
Yeah, because the problem the 177A is going to have is it's starting to rain. Now, as we've seen, this rain is very unreliable in its effect.
Well, leading them out is a driver that's been at the very forefront of the field here in 177s. And just look at that. We have gone into slow motion. That's not our cameras putting these cars into slow motion.
Oh.
There is number 9 just getting some heat into the tyres, which is going to be even harder.
Oh, someone's going to lose that. They are really giving it so much left and right angle there. Someone's going to find us painted the wrong way and feeling quite embarrassed. This is half the 177, isn't it? It's just half the 177.
Yeah. We've got a very, very well-subscribed entry list with 177, splitting them into 2 groups of, I think it's 19 cars
each,
have come out. Yeah, so 2 groups of
very
19.
healthy entry overall for this event. We had a good entry for the first round down at down in
Dunkswell.
Dunkswell, yeah.
For round 1.
I know. There's been so many southwest tracks going in Dunkswell, and then obviously we had a few less for the big trip to Rower, but now back in the heart of the country, another massive entry list again. The rain's coming down a bit further now. This is going to actually be quite damp.
Well, we've got 15 more entries than we had at round 2.
Just in this class.
In the 177s, yeah, we've got 44 entered. So we're going to have a group of.
They're all off. They're all off. At the end of the they've all fallen off at Oblivion. They've all fallen off at Oblivion. They've got there. It's rain. They can't steer. Now, what are they going to do?
We've got slippery surface flags. We've got yellow flags.
Is it just tough and you carry on going?
I think so. I think it's going to be an absolute lottery of a grid. Now then,
the next grid's not come out. the next group's not come out.
I've got a technical question for our timekeeper, which no one's going to be able to hear. If you know how we've got a mixed track condition, and they're split into two groups, but they're all going to come together in their heats, aren't they? So, is that just pure luck then? So if the next group go out and it's dry, they're going to be quicker, and Group A is going to be down the grid, and it's pure chance. Up to the gods, right? Thanks for that.
The weather gods.
So there's no other way to do it, really, is there?
No, there's a 70. Is that the 70 or 77 there?
So that's a 77.
That is.
That's Richard Evans.
Who's the only person who's really. This is literally, as you say, this is like I'm doing a replay, which reminds me I haven't turned the replays on. Whoa! 32 goes for one.
Actually, and he's 32 has gone and done a 180.
I wonder if this will actually work. I only just turned the replays on. It didn't.
I just want to mention 32. 32 is a former 177 British champion in 2019.
We can all make mistakes.
And a return to karting for Michael Cheek. Hello, Michael. We see him going backwards, though. That's not a very auspicious start. We'll put the checkered flag out, Nick, with 3 minutes to go.
Oh, they've stopped it then. They've stopped it. So they're going to give him another go.
I don't think so. I think they'll call that. They pull the checkered flag, which means session over, rather than a red flag, which means a delay.
Who got it? Did anyone get a time?
Well, George Walker, everybody's got a time. It's just nowhere near what an optimised time would be. So at the moment, in Group A, we've got George Walker with a 1 minute 11.0 from Ethan Wyatt, who on that very last lap before the checkered flag, in fact, they're on this lap, so I'm not going to call this yet. Ryan Taylor-Truman, by the way, the current champion, he's down in 4th at the moment. Luke Oliver, he's 5th. Will Murdoch, who went really well at Rowra.
With the carts.
But we're gonna have carts crossing that. So George Willis has gone to the top.
There's Steve Gilly. He's trying to get some drive out of it.
Ryan Taylor-Truman goes to the top. It's a 1 minute 7.368. Will Murdoch has gone to the front.
I'm going to shut up.
Hang on.
There's an issue here. The clock is counting down, but the checkered flag sign is out.
Yes, that's what I said. They pulled the checkered flag.
But which one do you follow?
The checkered flag.
Okay.
The session is now over. It's finished prematurely.
Yeah.
You weren't listening to me.
I was listening. I just wanted to kind of question.
Guess who's quickest?
Ryan Taylor-Truman.
No.
Oh.
Will Murdoch.
Oh.
Will Murdoch. After that great run at Rowra, I think, did he come 5th? 4th or 5th? I'll have to remind myself.
One of the three.
But Will Murdoch has gone quickest in Group A. Marcus Basley is second. He's the quickest Masters. So 1 minute 4.4 was Will Murdoch's time. 1 minute 5.7 was Marcus Basley's quickest time. Ethan Wyatt making it an LRG 1 and 3 is third. George Walker slipped down to 4th. Ryan Taylor-Truman 5th. George Willis 6th. Jason Gardner 7th. The returning Michael Cheek still 8th quickest there. Luke Oliver, Steve Gilly, Mark Marston, Dan Millward, Harry Taylor, Alexander Colinciano in 14th. Lincoln Bailey Arneson drops to 15th. He'll not be happy with that.
There's a composite purple leaking on Leon says for qualification they do P1 from which group is the fastest time, then P2 is P1 from the slower group.
That's right. Yeah.
So it's not that's not what was said there. So basically the left-hand side of the grid will be the fastest set of 15 or 19, but they'll be on the left-hand side, and then the other group will be on the right-hand side in order. So it doesn't. So basically you only lose one position by having a wetter session than somebody else.
Yeah, but they all get mixed together, don't they? What's the way that we race them groups? We have a mix of Group A and B.
A, B and C, yeah. They then submix them again. This is very exciting. They're submixing it, but you're still mixing your overall qualifying position being.
That would be easy. That would be easy if we had a 44-card grid.
Yeah,
that would be easily done. Yes. However, it gets a bit more complex, which is why we're not timekeepers.
Well, we aren't really.
No,
we aren't many things.
No,
we're just a couple of blokes. A bit sweaty.
The reason why our camera at the first couple of turns there, Oblivion and Crook, has got rain on it, because that's the way the wind's blowing.
Yeah, look, because there's nothing on camera 4.
Yeah, and look, you can already see the wetness on the track. The track is becoming wet.
They've delayed that. Are these people coming out on wet?
I'm trying to see that, Nick. I can't see because there's so much rain on the window.
Yeah, that's true. Just when you want to see what's going on, there's rain on the window.
But we have got the next group of 177 Rotax. What do we mean by 177? If you're new to the Junction 6 NKC, This is the heavier of the senior Rotax groups.
These are people who are genuine grown-ups and not whippets.
But they're not.
And not whippets.
There's children out there.
Yes, but they're big children.
The Wyatts, for instance.
The big children.
Yeah, they have. They've just gone too tall or too wide.
You know, our very good Henry Baudet has postulated, that the weight limits are too low.
Yes, I mean we are going to promote a podcast from a rival.
They're not rivals; they're just people who do the same stuff as us.
A rival's live streaming company. It's a really good podcast, actually. What's it called again?
Slipstream.
No, it's not. That's their.
No, that's what the podcast is called. It's called the Slipstream Podcast.
No, it's not.
Isn't it? Anyway, Henry, who we also work with a lot, says I think thinks that the weight limits are too. I agree.
Bump draft.
Bump draft. There we go.
Bump draft.
Weird
podcast.
thing about that is bump draft is a NASCAR thing rather than a karting thing. But never mind.
Guess who made the name?
Who knows?
It'd be Henry.
Yeah, well, yeah. But the thing is, it's interesting because people have got bigger as time has gone on.
Well, he
you know, the average weight for people is larger, isn't it?
This month's Bump Draft podcast with Piers, Henry, and
Piers Pryor, Andrew Mather. This is a big day for your brain, isn't it?
Yeah. Andrew Mather and Henry discuss and debate: are the minimum weights for the classes of carts in the UK karting too light? Because the 162 category, all right, carts are a bit heavier. The Rotax Max cart is a lot heavier than, say, the 100 National cart that I used to race back in the day.
I can't remember what the weight limits were. I knew I had to go in the 100 Britain Heavy, but I can't remember what it was. So long ago. So many other things happened in my life.
I think my cart weighed about.
Oh, they're taking them back off again. Some of them.
Yeah, because they're
changing tyres. But they can't, because doesn't the door get shut? Is that not qualifying?
This is force majeure. They can't allow. That's why we prematurely brought out the checkered flag for that session there, because the track was becoming a bit unsafe.
So, Nathan Jensen Racing, I think Arthur Thacker will be on pole. Is that in this class? Adam Elliott, Amanda Elliott, 7,100 says, "Come on, Archie Elliott, Mum, Granny, and Dog Charlie are cheering from the sofa." Now, I would like to see the dog cheering.
That's Archie Elliott, the vice champion from last year, and he is now with Roalf Racing. He was with Sushi Racing last year, remember?
Of course, yes.
Yeah.
Ninja Charlie says, "Has Intermax?" Yes, we've had the Intermax qualifying, and I don't think there's an Intermax race today, is there?
I believe there is.
Is it on the 6 heats? Is it?
Hang on. Yes, they kick things off.
So, really sorry, there is an Intermax race, and it'll be, well, but we're on a bit of delay now. It should have been about 4 o'clock. My guess is it'll be a little bit later now because we're just having a bit of a rain delay.
What else have you got to do on a rainy Saturday afternoon?
No, I think there's no football.
There's no football.
Qualifying's happened, don't tell us.
Don't tell us.
Actually, no, it's on the moment. Qualifying's on the moment.
Right, well, we don't want to know what's happening in Monte Carlo.
No.
But I think it's rained. I don't know. It's certainly raining here. What more do you want to do? Just stay with us. Watch this.
And if you're very, very good, we will tell you the information we found out yesterday, which is very important, which is how much it costs to berth a yacht at Monte Carlo.
I think. Do you not want to leave that for one of our many rain flag delays? Red flag delays.
We're not doing it today. I'm sort of trailing ahead of the excitement of stuff you can see.
If you have got a 30-metre yacht on the Med somewhere, we know exactly how much it's going to cost you to berth it in Monte Carlo.
On both off days and on days.
Both Grand Prix week and non-Grand Prix weeks, winter and summer.
It's amazing. It's the sort of things
does vary.
The sort of things you can find out when you're bored watching something and go, "Oh, wonder how that was."
Do you know what Callum Miller got? I can't remember, but I'll stand by. Call it. I will.
Bobby Rosier, Purple Leaky, and says Bobby Rosier pole for Senior Max. He understands wet pattern.
Bobby Rosier understands everything.
Yeah. We know what Callum Miller qualified. They're out now, and this is the second run of. They're on wets. So this is the second run of the 177s. They go. They might understand wets, but doesn't necessarily make them point in the right direction the whole time. Now, are all 19 going to go out? Is the question. So go Ben Harper, says Michelle Harper 4605. Is Ben Harper in this one?
Hang on, I'm just finding out. Who did we need to see? Callum Miller.
Yeah, Callum Miller.
Callum Miller did really well. He moved up 11 spots on the last lap of qualifying.
And he's qualified what?
5th. He's on the third row of the grid as Callum Miller.
So, is Ben Harper in this? Because
Ben Harper is...
He might not be in this one, but Michelle Harper saying, "Go Ben Harper, love you."
No, Ben Harper's not
Mum. the fact they say mum, there's a very good chance that he's going to be in junior Rotax, I'm thinking.
Yes, yes.
I do apologise for the fact that now our screen is now mostly rain.
Yes, that turn one camera is, we need the wind to blow. The track is, it looks like to me, everyone has managed to get onto those wet tyres. I think the rain has stopped though, Nick.
Do you?
I'm
going to do the official way of finding out.
Got 6 minutes of qualifying on a very, it's still raining.
It's still raining.
Oh, well, that's good.
It's that rain in the wind?
Yeah, that's good. I mean, what we don't want is for these wet tyres for the track to stop raining, the track starts drying, the wet tyres just churn up and they just destroy themselves.
Well, I think Ollie would quite like it, but...
well, they have to buy more tyres, I suppose. They'll have to buy more wet tyres. Because what's the forecast tomorrow?
Dry so far.
Yeah.
The rain, if it's coming, come right at the end of the day.
And I know that we're going to start the day off very early, like 6 a.m. rain, I think. But that might be...
We'll start at 6 a.m.
We're not starting at 6 a.m., no. That's Matthew Lambert for Nib Sport, who, as you can see, looking very, very composed. Hartley's exerting himself, it looks like.
It was like hardly any movement.
Yeah, Hartley's, yeah. I mean, that's how quick Matt is. He's not quickest, though. Rob Simpson, one of the Masters drivers, Rob Simpson, has gone quickest. It's a 61.105 is the time that we're looking for to beat. Matthew Lambert, 61.493. Jack Taylor.
Is that coming up sideways up towards Christmas there on the 99? That's Jack Taylor, yeah. You're talking about Jack Taylor, is on our screen at the moment in all sorts of angles. Apparently, there's a fast way to go around in the wet.
Yeah, he's dropping down the order because Harrison Crook has gone fastest. He's on the number 402. Ashton Parsons has gone. So two cuts into the 59s, 59.146, 59.648. Archie Elliott, we had somebody inquiring about or wishing Archie good luck. He's third at the moment. He on the number 2. He's got a 60.577. Rob Simpson slipping down the order to fourth, but he's about to come around and give us another lap.
At LF1_Ghost says good luck Lambert.
That's him. He's doing all right. He's just come through. He has gone quicker, but it's not quick enough as Jack Taylor's just overtaken him. It's a 59.146 to beat, and that's from the number 402. Harrison Crook coming here.
Who's this on the screen now with the purple and white?
That's a cartel.
They're trying to warm it. They're trying to warm the thing as they're going round. It's a 52, that is. That's Nathan Wells. I looked at the number, but then it's written large on the back of his suit. It's Nathan Wells.
Yeah, Nathan is currently 10th. Just moved up 6, and you can see the different line that he's using around here. Whilton Mill's a very, very well used facility here. We've got hire carts that are in use pretty much every day, so we've got a good coating of rubber on the racing line that when it does rain,
treacherous immediately. Yeah,
we have to think about the wet line on these carts. There's the 95 of Patrick Williams Rawhedge. He's hustling that cart around. Oh, a little bit of oversteer through the chicane there for the number 52 of Nathan Wells. And that slowed him down. Look, he's jumping up and down in the seat just to get the engine to pick up a little bit better than it perhaps was. That does work, by the way.
Does it?
It does. You kind of lift the weight off the rear axle.
Oh, right, so he's spinning it
momentarily.
Slightly. It's like slipping the clutch.
A little bit, yeah. It just helps the engine. You feel like you're sort of nudging it forward.
Is it psychological, though?
No, you can feel the engine revs pick up. Very, very busy.
I don't feel battling at the top of the track there. What much point that is at this juncture in the event.
Well, I think it's just karts just finding themselves on the same piece of racetrack as other drivers. That brightly coloured kart is, of course, just trying to find him. Where is he? Where's he gone? Carl Bryant making a return. He's up to 7th. Carl, remember, was a stalwart competitor of the NKC over the years. He's been busying himself mechanicking and spannering for Nielsen Racing in the European Le Mans Series on LMP2 prototypes. Not at Le Mans next week, much to his chagrin.
Unlike us.
But he's the Nielsen Racing didn't get an entry or didn't enter Le Mans this year. I'm not sure what the story behind it was. Matthew Lambert, I noticed, Nick, is way
off
down
there.
in
Mr.
19th.
Wells is off. Oh, his wheel fell off.
That's not good, is it?
3 wheels on his wagon. Then we get annoyed with it. The wheels falling off because you haven't done it up properly. Because the hub was still there.
that looked like...
That's a recalcitrant wheel.
Yeah, there
you know what that was? Gunning it on quickly.
Yes.
Someone's made a bit of an error.
Yes, that's unfortunate for Nathan.
Well,
that is unfortunate. Nathan, I can tell you, down in 11th, his qualifying prematurely comes to a halt for that errant wheel. But yeah, that finger trouble, we call that in the business. Patrick Williams-Rawhodge goes up the order momentarily on 5th place. He stays there. A driver I need to mention here, Louis Rees, the number 47, has just dropped from 5th to 7th. Louis, my heart goes out to that young man. Last week, his father passed away, quite shockingly. And Louis and his mum, Tan, deciding that his dad would not have been very happy with them not continuing this race. He was out prepping the cart, I think is the story. So my heart goes out to Louis, and a very, very brave young man here coming and racing in memory and for his dad, because that's what his dad would have liked. As we've got the checkered flag, then Ashton Parsons is our pole sitter. But look at that, 56.290 for Ashton right there at the very end. So the track was coming back. And then a four...
Do you want to go and see if it's raining again by opening the door?
You can do. 56.465. Again, all of these times coming on the very last lap of that session. Up to the checkered flag.
It's stopped now.
Yeah, and that I can tell.
The lightest spittage is in the wind.
Look at all those green lap times there.
Yes, I'm kind of hoping it's going to improve this camera by drawing the lens back off again.
Incredible returnee, Carl Bryant, on the front row of this group of 177s with a 56.465. Second row in this Group B, Harrison Crook and Solomon Williams. Ollie Owen and Toby Case, row 3. Louis Rees, Patrick Williams-Rawhodge on row 4. Martin Marison and Josh Pickford on row 5. Scott Clee and Archie Elliott slipped down to row 6. Row 7, Scott Smith and Tyler Fossey. Then row 8, we've got Ryan Layton and Mark Gilly. Jack Taylor, Nathan Wells. Cole Edwards is the driver on the bright coloured cart that I couldn't find on the screen. And then Rob Simpson, 20th. Ian Brandfield and Matthew Lambert, who came in prematurely. Now, Matthew Lambert, we're not used to seeing Matthew all the way down there in 22nd, so I'm not sure what was going on, but there's a story and a drama, no doubt, behind the number 480, the Nib Sport entry. We will see.
Just waiting for the next heat going. Who's out next?
What we've got next is the first look of our junior Rotax field. Now,
are they an A and a B as well, or just straight through?
We've got an A and a B because junior Rotax, we've got 49 entered. That's 15 more entries than we had at Rowra. So once again, very, very healthy grids here in the Junction 6 NKC. I'm just going to answer Johnny, by the way.
Oh, okay. That's Johnny Palmer's asked his question, but I don't think we can finish in time, are we? That's the answer I would give. So the weather has now, I believe, reduced the amount of rain again. It was quite. The weather was very much like, it's not. No, it's not. It's more. It's less. It's more. It's less. And now it's come off a bit. So just to remind you, we've got a few more qualifiers. Then we've got 6 heats coming up, starting with Intermax, and then I think everyone gets at least one go. And then there's 2 seniors and 2 juniors and 2 slightly heavies.
What do you mean slightly heavies? You mean the 162s? They're the
177s are slightly heavy.
Oh yeah, the 177s. Well, we've got rid of that.
TKM as well. Just a stop from Frank out in the wilds.
All right, that's good. That's a weather report. Frank's up at Christmas Corner, isn't he?
He is up at Christmas Corner.
He loves Christmas.
He loves Christmas.
He loves Christmas.
Is he Christmas? No,
he's at Christmas, yes.
Oh, okay. I've heard him.
Frank, he said he wanted all year round Christmas, so we've given him a go. We put him at Christmas Corner.
Are they back on slicks again?
So this field,
they're on wet still,
and that track is drying all the time. It's barely damp now.
This could be an expensive trip for some of these people.
Yeah, it is. Cart to look out for the number 128, Daniel Minto. He's making a one-off appearance here, just for the crack. He tells me. He's not familiar with the Maxxis tyre. He's used to racing in other series where they use a different tyre. So just getting his head around that. He's with the Origin Motorsport team. Nico Verbers is in this one. Nico is the driver that we've got an onboard of that we'll be showing you throughout the weekend. just to give you a better insight.
Well, I've been fair, you're not going to show you again for a while. I've got to change the caption on it.
Yes, you have.
Which is all the excitement I forgot to do.
It's got a different name, team name. Barnaby Grubb is out in this session. Lucy Lovell, who is with Origin as well. Lucy had a very good start at the championship, didn't she, at Dunkswell and indeed at Rowra, and she is not far off in the championship table, which we'll have a better look at.
There are the Origin carts going around there, the black and white machines.
Yes, Origin team that is out of Newcastle. That's why they've chosen black and white. Phil Surtees, the owner, is a big Mags fan, and me and him have some great banter, because I'm not a Mags fan, of course. I'm a Sunderland fan, so you can imagine the rivalry. But at the moment,
really, being a Gillingham fan, you don't get bantered anybody because no one cares.
At the moment, I'm on top with Phil. He can't say a word to me. I've got him there.
Yeah, but
he's right there.
Yeah, but it changes so fast.
Yeah, well, it's the off season, Nick.
Purple League.
I've got it all the way until August.
Purple League was watching the tyre being abused when it fell off, saying, "Why is he having a temper tantrum as a grown man? Because he's racing a cart. That's what they do."
He may look like a grown man.
Yes, but when the wheel falls off,
Nathan Wells.
When the wheel falls off, not the same.
Not happy. We're presuming that he was the one who put the cart tyre, the wheel on.
Someone went zit, zit,
but
zit
it
at the last minute.
It looked like the
hub was still there.
The hub was still there with the bolts. What I'm talking about? The studs.
Studs were still there, yeah.
I'm an engineer, you know.
It's all right.
I'm a race mechanic, you know.
We've had a busy day.
Yeah, the studs were still there. They were still intact.
Yeah, it's not been done up. I think someone's gone zit, zit, zit,
and then
not done the tight bit. So can you imagine someone not tightening the nuts on their wheels properly? Can you imagine that ever happening properly?
No, that wouldn't happen in real life.
No, in real life. No.
There's the number 45 and 81 going away from us, Hector Sadalowski there. We've done 3 laps of timing. Jack Dimbleby is the driver that currently heads with a 51.974. 52.175 is Daniel Wisniewski, with Lucas Hilton going to the top of the screen quickly there. 51.646 for Lucas Hilton. He's the number 46. That's the 45 who we continue following around. Now Hector Sadalowski has dropped down the order with those times coming in. For instance, Harry Wright gone from 20th to 10th in one fell swoop with a 53.958. Where is
you looking for?
So Nico is down there in 22nd. He's getting the grips with the conditions.
Somebody's not had their transponder on properly.
Somebody hasn't got a transponder on, yes.
Well, they have got it on, but they haven't registered it properly with themselves.
Yeah, that's
a bit of it unforgivable after having done 2 days of practice, but there we go.
Well, that's not necessarily the thing. That might just not be transponding.
Well, it is.
The thing.
It's telling you it's TX1270855. There you go. That's how you find out what it is.
4 laps completed, and Jack Dimbleby goes quicker. Lucas Hilton up 10 spots to second there with a 51.646. That was from the 3rd lap of running. So Jack Dimbleby gone round, 4 laps completed. There is less than 2 minutes on the clock, and Jack Dimbleby, the number 64.
Barnaby Grubb having a bit of a battle there with 33, I think it is. They're all having a bit of a battle. It's a bit pointless, really, isn't it? Because you're qualifying.
Well,
that's Sam Green Gomez at the back of that with the green helmet.
Yeah, 77's third at the moment. He wants to get on with it, and he was nudging the rear end of that Nibsport cart there. Was that number 12, Barnaby Grubb?
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, they've all been having a bit of a kind of a...
Oh, look at the 77, though. Sam Green Gomez has just overtaken 2 carts now. He's gone... He was third. He's dropped to 4th. We've still got Dimbleby, who's gone quicker still. Dimbleby, a 50.228 on an ever-drying track. They're on wets on a drying track. The rain has stopped. Daniel Wisniewski gets to 3rd again, ahead of Sam Green Gomez.
I'm not sure we hadn't started again.
Well, I'm just looking at the window.
There's a man in shorts there. A man very unconcerned in shorts there.
It's still warm.
I don't want to point it out to him. He's actually ripped his shorts. Hasn't noticed.
Do you want to go and tell him?
I don't think it's not really my place to tell someone they've ripped their shorts, is it?
There's the number 12, Barnaby Grubb. He is down in 11th at the moment, just ahead of Lucy Lovell, who Lucy in 12th. Technical defect for the number 15 is going to bring Eli Mann into the pits early. I say early, the checkered flag's been ready because in 20 seconds' time it's going to be unfurled and start flying here. Into Christmas.
The smaller kids there, 172.
That is the Amelie Davey. She is currently in 10th place. So one of the smaller drivers in this category is Amelie. You can see that. Barely any shoulders above her seat. And there's the newcomer to...
She'll be having no problem making 162.
No, absolutely. Well, 145.
145 for juniors, yeah, absolutely.
There is newcomer. Where is he? That's Lucy. That's Lucy Lovell.
16, yep.
Yeah, she is currently 12th. Let's see if she can improve. Lucy across the line now. She doesn't. She stays in 12th as the checkered flag is flying. Jack Dimbleby has still got a best time. That is good enough for provisional pole with a 50.121. Lucas Hilton will start alongside with a 50.444. That came on lap 5. And then right at the very end, Sam Green Gomez puts his quickest time in, 51.180. Puts him third. Liam Crosby likewise right there at the very end. Liam Crosby fourth place with a 51.597. And then on the third row of the grid, Daniel Wisniewskis with Daniel Adomaitis. They share the third row of the grid. There is Nathan Wells not being able to get his
rescued Nathan's car, haven't
they? Row 4 has qualified Harry Wright and newcomer Daniel Minto. Hector Sadlowski and Amelie Davey round out the top 10. With outside the top 10 on row 6, Barnaby Grubb and Lucy Lovell. The unidentified transponder is 13th with Eli Mann 14th. Nico Webers and Jack Blamey are on row 8. Row 9 is Lila Fitzgerald and Reese Kelso. William Spencer and Aaron Maidment. George Theobald and Philip Jankowski with Joe Stonehouse and James Gordon rounding off a 24-cart field. So that was the first group of junior Rotax drivers that we saw there. We've got cracking grid. 49 carts entered for round 3 of the Junction 6 NKC here at Whilton Mill. 15 more than we had at round 2. So we get their next group, which should have 25 if everyone's turned up to qualify from the entry list. So we just wait for those carts to be recovered. Are we going to get a chance to see if we can recover? Yes, we are. We're recovering Nathan Wells now, so that's good news for him. So with the rain stopped, that means the track is drying, and from what I can see out the window here, it looks like everyone is on slick tyres on this next group of qualifiers. Yep, certainly the people at the front of the collecting area are on slicks. So did Nick, who has been down there for I know not why, did you have a check on what tyres they're on? It's still raining. Oh, still splashing.
Rain's picked back up again, yeah.
Oh, it's one of those days, isn't it?
I went to do some stuff and I've done it.
They look like they're all on slick tyres down there for this second group of juniors. So 50.
Really? That would be a really bad idea.
51.21 is the target
time. Look at that weather. That's the weather. Look. Miserable.
Oh, it started raining again.
Yeah.
I wonder if we're going to have another delay. So 50.121. I'm just going to make a note of that.
Because you can't make a note on there because your wife very kindly laminated the information sheet.
I can't do that, yes.
You can't write on it?
Well, it's not laminated. It's on photographic cardboard paper.
Well, that's even more expensive.
We've
had those.
All right.
It's quite... this miserable weather will probably blow over.
Well, the forecast is for it to be...
miserable.
Miserable. The thing is, we've said this about Whilton Mill before, haven't we? It seems to have its own microclimate.
It's quite a miserable one as well.
There are canals and rivers all around us.
Light rain for the next hour, apparently, is the localised forecast. But
well, it needs to do something. It needs to decide on what to do.
Yes.
Either rain or stop.
Rain or you stop.
Yeah.
None of this faffing about.
Well, then we can have we can
Ash,
gauge.
Can you look at the collection area, please?
We can have a gauge. We can gauge who's quickest.
No, Ash wasn't listening to me.
Yeah. I think we're changing to wets down there. So everyone had changed from wets to dries, and now we're changing from dries to wets. Wet tyres being brought in. So again, we are delaying proceedings slightly. on the grounds of safety, which is very, very correct. You cannot disagree with that.
They're all going back again. There they go. This could be a theme, I think. As this rain comes and goes.
If the rain comes and stays, that's fine. That's great. That's what we want to see. Because then everybody knows the track is wet. We need wet tyres.
Yep.
There's a few people deliberating as to whether to have a gamble there, but I think discretion the better part of valor. Looking at the track,
they've had the opportunity to gamble taken from them.
Yes, I think so. There's one of the Origin carts with Kyle Fletcher pushing the cart. He's the mechanic there for Origin. That's the number 164. Just pushing to the back, closer to the tyres coming into the collecting area. The chap with the toolbox is Kieran Gifford of Kieran Gifford Racing. What's the number?
KGR,
yeah. Who is that? With the KGR overalls on, I can't quite see.
Looks like 23ish or something. Is that possible? You haven't got the grid up anyway for the next one, so you don't know.
No, I can get the entry list up though, Nick, and see who we're talking about. So it's the.
I suppose the key thing to do is make sure you do gun the things back up tightly again.
Yes, please do. Please do. Lila Fitzgerald is that number 123?
I saw 23, so 1, 2, 3.
That's 23.
23, I think, yeah.
Yeah, so that is Ethan Hunt, of course. That's why it says Hunt. That's why it says
E. Hunt.
But I wondered if that was a driver just mucking in and helping out, like that chap with the Tony Kart overalls on. Not quite sure who that is. He's one of our 177 drivers.
He's part of the Kieran Gifford team.
Yeah.
Here's the question for you. So these Tony Kart overalls, are they like a premium from your standard overalls, or does Tony Kart like knock them out to get a bit of advertising?
Yeah.
Because if you buy Ducati, any sort of Ducati logo and stuff, it costs a blooming fortune compared to normal stuff.
No, I don't think so. It's just standard Tony Kart. It's your bespoke.
Your ticket to ride.
It's your bespoke kit, like you've got KGR. You know, the teams will supply their not supply their drivers, but they'll urge their drivers to buy team kit. They'll go off to a manufacturer, and which there are various manufacturers who will do that, and have liveried overalls which helps us a lot.
It does. A name on the back is fantastically useful.
Yeah.
Please don't stop.
And there, in that shot alone, you've got the Kieran Gifford Racing, the blue, white, and red. Slightly different livery on the KGR carts this year, as you can see. More predominantly white this year. They used to be predominantly blue. The Roalf Racing in the background there, the blue and bright yellow, they're easy to spot. Roalf have had those colours. And behind that, the number 185, that's a Coles Racing. They're orange, blue, and white.
A bit the NKC.
The number 185
the NKC organisers, chat to Nibsport, just allowing this change of tyres.
And the number 185 is one of the favourites for overall honours here this weekend, Benjamin Lawn. We have a lovely interview with Benjamin, who's had quite a start with his season at Dunkswell. We got a chat with him because he had a really good row.
Yeah, he did have a good time at row.
What transpired was Dunkswell, he went off into the final where it rained for the first time, and it was his first ever experience of Max's wets.
Well, he's got a second experience now, hasn't he?
Absolutely, he's got a grip of that now.
Gave a second go.
So he was turning in thinking it was going to grip like another tyre manufacturer called Mojo, which he was more familiar with.
So he went for another method, then he mentioned it anyway. It's like that's
just mentioned it.
Yeah.
And he expected the same grip level, where the Maxes are slightly different, and the grip level just wasn't there. So he had a bit of a nightmare of a final, and after dominating the heats, we saw him back to the front at Rowra, and we're sure to see him there. Now, they've managed to get, Coles Racing has managed to get the wet tyres on to the number 185.
I think it stopped raining.
Of course it stopped raining.
Of course it's saying it stopped raining. I don't know, because the water's chasing down the windows, but I'm not sure.
The problem is, Nick, the moment it stops raining, the ambient temperature is so high, there's a bit of heat
and
in the tarmac.
there's wind as well.
It dries up because it's only like very, very light specks of rain. So it's barely...
Most of the rain currently is actually on this camera.
All of the rain is on that camera. Yeah, that's rendered that pretty obsolete, hasn't it?
No, it's still there. It's now an effect shot.
Yes, through the bubble wrap, you mean?
Exactly, yeah. It's a long walk Tomorrow I might go and clean it, but today it's fine. You can guess what's going on.
Talking of tomorrow, we've got again bringing you all of the action from round 3. We kick off the action with the remaining heats and then super heats. In fact, no, we've got heats and then lunch. What time are we starting tomorrow, Nick?
9.
9 o'clock?
9 in the morning we start. People be released before they even quite finish, which is it's a bit more flexible in the rules for qualifying. Obviously, for heats themselves, the carts have to be down 3 minutes beforehand and that sort of thing.
Well, the thing
qualifying is a bit different.
The thing is, the officials can call that.
Yeah, force majeure and
because they'd rather set these. I mean, these are kids. Remember, this is a junior class.
Yep.
You do not want them out on an unsafe track.
No.
And slick tyres on a wet track is an unsafe condition.
It looks. They're enjoying themselves. We're looking at the 50. I think was I get 53 on that one there? Was it 93?
I think it was
93 because it's the first one. It's Cody Longdon there. He's just going around Chapman now, coming back towards us.
Great look at the different line that these drivers are adopting there, keeping off the conventional textbook race line. Not so much there. And that's what happens when you are on the racing axis.
I apologise,
so
we just haven't had many of these, that's all.
So slippery.
Oh, I've done that again. Why is it doing that?
Oh, that was a one from before, Nick.
I have no idea why I did that.
Yeah.
I don't know why I did that.
That was a 177 replay.
Some weird thing. Never mind.
Anyway, Nick's going to press buttons.
I pressed it, it's fine, I'll sort it out.
We're under 5 minutes. And at the top of the screen has gone Jensen Hookie. Now, Jensen was a winner.
Oh! 164. Hugo McCluskey. Nothing ventured, nothing gained.
Is that Hugo? How long has Hugo been in juniors?
Well,
he was in Intermax certainly last season. I'm going to have to check that.
This has been in juniors for a couple of years.
Yeah.
You can do 4 years in juniors, can't you?
There is Benjamin Lawn, the number 185. He starts this weekend as favourite. And he's certainly getting that axle to lift, isn't he? He's finding grip in that setup there. He's certainly got some grip from somewhere. Benjamin's had a problem with his primary engine, so I know he's on his secondary engine. When we caught up with him for the paddock show, and his dad was busy changing his engines onto his second engine, which is not really a massive issue, I would have thought, on a wet track. And there's our feature shot there.
Yeah, that's as seen from Atlantis.
2 laps completed, and Benjamin Lawn for Coles Racing is at the top of the screen. 63.684 is the target time for everyone else. Jacob Aston, who was actually mentioned by I think it was Jensen Hookie, who mentioned Jacob Aston in his interview, which you'll see tomorrow lunchtime. Jensen currently 4th, Jacob Aston 3rd, Benjamin Lawn now 2nd, as Logan Hartshorn has gone to the top of the screen with a 63.423. Almost 0.3 of a second quicker than anyone else. Logan.
Technical defect for the 199. Not troubling scorers at the moment, the 199, but he's been given a technical defect, so it sounds like he may have pulled out.
That's Elijah West, actually.
Oh, dear.
Elijah was his first season of juniors. He was in the Intermax class, you remember?
Yeah, runner-up.
With Sushi and a vice champion in the Intermax.
Yeah, and certainly came on. Cass McAllister ran away with that at the start of the season, and by the end it was a really close battle between himself and Elijah. But Elijah's going to get no score effectively in this qualifying because of the technical defect. It happened early afternoon, so he'll be starting from the back. So already a bit more of an uphill struggle for Elijah.
I think it's a struggle for everyone out there at the moment, isn't it?
You're right.
It is really, really wet conditions, very wet and tricky conditions here at Whilton Mill this afternoon. With a damp track, it's barely getting wet. The rain is so light that the track is barely, and it's greasy conditions. Therefore, with just a little bit of surface water, just to have that cooling effect. Slicks are just no good whatsoever in these conditions. And just look at the amount of steering that the number 44 there is having to adopt there. The number 44 is just trying to find him on the screen. Sam Blamey is 15th at the moment. Look how tricky it is through the chicane. Chicane's been here about, what, its second season?
Yeah.
Second full season.
Someone's off there down the bottom of the track.
And it was a bit of a controversial, it made a controversial appearance, didn't it? With the, I think the curb was really high at first. They've shaved that. It's had the desired effect, though, Nick, of slowing things down through the Pitts Bend, which was very, very fast.
I know. I broke my rib there. I broke my rib at the Pitts Bend.
And you broke your rib there, of course. Yes, we haven't forgot that, Nick.
Well,
tell us every time we come in.
Oh, don't start that. Don't start the we tell you every time you come here lines.
Yeah, Rower was round 2.
But my part's coming.
So was Warden Law.
That's true.
Buckmore Park, of course, not for the NKC. That's Access Karting Series round. That will be brought to you on Karting Live TV. We have got a round at Warden Law in the Junction 6 NKC, though.
Beginning of August?
I'm just going to get the
I
date.
just told you, beginning of August.
No, I'm going to get the exact date.
Oh, right, okay. Well,
it's the 7th to the 9th of August. We've got a trip to Shennington before that, though, Nick. The first weekend of July. And then 11th, 13th of September to Clay Pigeon. And if the rumours are to be believed, that could well be the last time a national championship visits Clay Pigeon.
What a sad day.
It is. It will be a very, very sad time.
Because everyone needs more caravan holiday homes, don't they?
Checkered flag. The time just flies by, doesn't it? So they're on the final laps here. They're heading towards the checkered flag. And a 62.5 is the target time. Just under 0.4 of a second slower as Benjamin Lawn. As Benjamin Lawn gets indeed quicker, 62.341 now. He's on the provisional pole, but we're looking out for the number 111. So the 111 is dropped to third as Jensen Hookey goes second with a 62.394. Hartshorn still not crossing the line. Jacob Aston has finished. He's fourth. Tyler Rackham. Logan Hartshorn goes up to third. Hugo McCluskey with a very fine lap there from the Origin Motorsport driver. Hugo McCluskey into fourth place and onto the second row as the rest of the field come through. Elijah West still showing a mechanical flag but takes the checkered flag, and that's, I think, Nick, everybody through. So the Group B of the Junior Rotax grid has been...
I think Elijah West went out, got it fixed, and then came back out again.
Oh, really?
He did 2 laps. So I think Elijah West came out.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
2
laps.
Got it fixed, came back out again.
And where have I done that for?
I don't know.
Considering Elijah West finished in 12th place. Let's have a quick look then at how that finished. Benjamin Lawn on the front row of the grid alongside Jensen Hookey. That's the winner of round 2, Benjamin Lawn, and the winner of round 1, Jensen Hookey, starting on the front row of Group 2. Logan Hartshorn and Hugo McCluskey are on row 2. Eden Salvage and Jacob Aston are on row 3. Tyler Rackham and Ethan Hunt are on 4. Sam Blamey and Bertie Hodgson on 5. Row 6 is Harry Harvey and Elijah West. Then we have Fenton Roderick and Freddie Wall. Finley, M. Cass and Zach Charles on row 8. Cody Longdon and Ewan Scott on 9. Callum Wilson and Harrison Matthews are on row 10 with Leonardo Palaggi and Libby Venus. Libby here with LRG. Charlie White and Ryan Sadlier round off a 24-kart field.
Do you know?
Do you want to switch yourself?
Do you know? I wasn't switched off. I've been talking to the boys. Do you know? King Carrot 6355 has any spicy Italian dads gone postal yet? Do you have any idea what that's referring to?
No.
There we are. If you know what King Carrot 6355 is referring to, and it's printable, please tell us.
Yeah, what's he on about? Any spicy Italian dads? Don't know.
We're off again for the next time.
We have got Senior Rotax, the first group of Senior Rotax out, and it's being led out by a driver that was AWOL for Rower at round 2. Jensen Watts, the number 93, is back. He is back and looking for another championship. He was Jensen was the 2024 champion now, wasn't he? On the number 93. We've got quite a few champions in this. Bobby Rosier. Is Bobby Rosier out or is he in the next group? Yeah,
Just some random person just cleaned our camera.
Are they really?
Yeah. Very nice of them.
That's very nice of them. Obviously,
I
watching
don't know who it was, but they've just look.
Thank you very much.
Wow,
that's brilliant. You'll be getting an
invoice
in the
for
post.
that. Yeah, absolutely,
yeah. So you've got Bobby Rosier in this class, not out this one, I don't think. Can't quite see him on the lineup. He's the 2023 champion. He was the youngest champion in NKC at 17 in this class. Mason Perrin was the 23 junior champion. Sam Wyatt was the 2022 junior Rotax champion. And of course Jensen Watts, who is out here, he was the 2024 champion in this
this
category. It
looks
looks very,
very
very greasy. There's James Woods, the number 361.
There's a very random numeration in this, isn't there?
Yeah, I think the
25. We've got people in the top 10 because they qualified in the top 10.
I think.
Then we've got people with 3 figures beginning with 1, people with 3 figures beginning with 3, people with 3 figures beginning with 4.
Do you want me to tell you why?
I'm just giving the example of why I'm so surprised. And now, what is the reason for that, Joseph?
They're running different championships, which run 3-digit numbers. Like James runs in another championship where the number 3 is senior Rotax, I think, and they run 3-digit numbers. Ollie Varney has gone quickest on their first lap, and as we continue watching the number 93, now Jensen is with TH Corsa, so it looks like he's on their engines, the Venator. So TH Corsa here with Harrison Crook as well, looking for 177 honours. Jensen Watts is their main hope as the rest of the field go through. There's the 43, Taylor Dixon. Now Taylor, remember, had that issue of being underweight in Heat 1 at Rowra, and much to their surprise, they were absolutely astounded.
Because he'd been nothing. He'd been munching pies all day.
Well, it was, if that would be that would have been great, because he was under by 0.5 of a kilogram, I think. And they just couldn't explain it. I was chatting to his dad earlier on.
Oh, the rain's really coming down now. I can see it.
And these drivers did get a chance to go onto wet, so it's all about the tyre pressure though as well. If you pressure your tyre for just a damp track and then it really comes down, then the cart's not going to be to your liking. It's not going to be too much of a challenge though. A 59.975 on lap 2 for Ollie Varney is still the fastest time. Jack Maidment is the kart that's second quickest. He's the number 17 out there.
How many more qualifiers are there before we start racing?
Another group of seniors before we start with the heats. And we kick off the heats coming up in about, 10, 15, 20 minutes time.
Oof.
That's Jensen Watts getting it all out of shape across the curb. The number 183 is Riley Thatcher, who's...
You've got to be careful, because you can't let too many laps go away. You've only got 5 or 6 to actually get a time in.
No, but it's knife-edge driving, isn't it? Riley Thatcher trying to get around the outside of Taylor Dixon there. Riley Thatcher currently 5th. Taylor Dixon 7th on the red and gold and white LRG kart. Taylor Dixon was very, very quick at Rowra. Expecting a lot from him. Reese Green is 8th, Luke Evans 9th, Kyle Dunford 10th. Just looking down the order there, James Wood has dropped to 17th. He's not being a lad from Workington. He's used to racing in the wet. Is James. Jamie Kidney is out there. Chris Yordanov not getting the grips quite yet. Zen Yong Lim is on the number 82, down in 23rd. But certainly Ollie Varney, with that lap that came on lap 2, perhaps, Nick, when things were not as wet as they are now, because no one's getting near that. They're all lapping in the 62s and 63s.
Yeah, you can actually see the rain now. Look at the windows. You haven't been able to see it too much. I mean, it's still still heavy drizzle and such a thing.
Yeah, it's just wetting the track a little bit more, isn't it? So I doubt no one's getting near a 60-second lap now, which is pretty much... There's Jensen Watts just through 62.6. His quickest time is a 60.4. So 2 seconds, I'd say average 2 seconds a lap slower now with more of the rain coming. So I think that with just under 40 seconds remaining, I think that order of the grid is pretty much locked out now, because no one's going to better their lap time. not unless you were really going slowly in the first 2 laps. So 20 seconds to go. Ollie Varney with that, the only driver to just dip inside the 59s, 59.975 for him, 60.145 for Jack Maidment, Jenson Watts, Finlay Underwood, Riley Thatcher, Sean Rudge, Taylor Dixon, Reece Green, Luke Evans, Kyle Dunford rounds off your top 10. And the checkered flag flies. Grace Lee Davis is the first driver to see that. 65.426 for Grace, puts her in 26th.
There's 444 of Farad Arian, rejoining from a little excursion up by Christmas Corner. Another 4-cart of Reece Green coming to complete his final lap.
Yeah, everybody locked in from about lap 2. I think lap 2 and 3 was when, in fact, it looks to me as though there was only Jenson Watts who put in his quickest time on lap 3. Riley Thatcher, his lap time came on lap 3. Taylor Dixon, his lap time came on lap 3. It's funny because the first and second place, though, their lap time on their second flying lap. 59.975 is the pole position time for Group A for this senior road tax qualifying, and that is Ollie Varney, who was operating out the Roalf awning at Rowra. I'm not sure where he is this weekend, if he is running with Roalf. If you know, please let me know.
Well, he has his own team, doesn't he?
There is Purple Leakian Lean.
Have we done these?
Have we? What, Tony Carter's factory team
Who's the
overalls?
lovely person who's cleaning our camera?
I don't know.
I can't see. He's doing it again.
Really? Oh, yes, so I see. Who is that? Go and have a look. Go and have a look. So there is the. So that's qualifying Group A. Oh, there it is. It's that chap there, Nick. Very well done. Thank you so much. Looks a bit like Frank.
Very nice of him, whoever it was.
Yes, whoever it is. Let us know who you are.
Thank you for cleaning
Come and
up.
have a macaroon.
Yes, we got and actually the rain has sort of eased back up again to just annoyingly wet from actually coming down a bit. I mean, this is exactly the weather I saw in my forecast. So it might rain, it might not, but it probably will rain, and then it will not, and it will rain a bit more.
There's the order then on the screen there. Take notice that was the session time that we've got there. So we're waiting for, and I would suggest, Nick, that all of those runners in the second of the senior road tax groups are on wet tyres in the collecting area. So we just wait to get. I'm just seeing if we've got anyone to clear up and any carts to recover. I can't quite see anybody out there.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what. There was a couple of carts that went off in the. It's now kind of. Visibility begin to drop if you look one side of the track to the other. It's like a little bit misty over there. This is the glamour of motorsport, isn't it? A wet qualifying session, a drizzly qualifying session at Whilton Mill. One more to go. We're going to start the heats. This is the second of the road tax qualifying. Aptly named qualifying B. Bobby Rosier in the 49 leads them away.
So the chat between our cameramen are the fact that I've mentioned macaroons.
But we've got the macaroons and they're nowhere near the macaroons.
I know, and we are in control of the macaroons.
I wouldn't think we're in control of anything, really, to be honest.
So we get things underway. Now this, Nick, is our final run of qualifying.
Yeah.
Next time we see karts out, we'll be racing. That will be the Intermax karts that are racing. But right now, we've got former champion Bobby Rosier. Bobby was the youngest ever NKC champion at 17 back in 2023 when he took this class championship. That's the number 7 of Kieran Gifford, who we saw earlier in the collecting area, bolting tyres onto Ethan Hunt's cart. He's now doing his team principal job of leading the team in this class on the number 7th in the championship last year. First lap in the bag, and it's Kieran Gifford, Bobby Rosier, Mason Perrin. Look at that for a top quality. Macaulay Austin joins them in 4th. Macaulay Austin, who missed the Rowra round, back here for round 3.
Purple Leakley in Leon agrees. He said this is Group is harder than Group A, much better people, he says.
Yeah, I mean, that's absolutely open to debate, but at the moment, just look at the quality at the front of this field here. Kieran Gifford, Bobby Rosier, Mason Perrin, Macaulay Austin, Jacob Felton, Blake Ticehurst, the Southwest champion in 6th, Ben Ballou, the number 3, Sam Wyatt, who's always there or thereabouts, Zari Visarek, who was very, very quick in juniors and getting the grips now with seniors for the last season and a half or so. Might even be 2 seasons. Arthur Thacker, we had a supporter of Arthur Thacker earlier, didn't we?
Yep.
He's currently 10th. They've only done 1 flying lap, though, so there's plenty of time. As we've got Kai Pepperell out there. Oakley Garthwaite has not come out to take part in this. Jack Welch is another driver. Garthwaite, I'm not sure why, he is one of the Origin Motorsports entries. Jack Welch, the number 53, he hasn't posted a lap as well, and I'm not sure whether they did in fact come out of the collecting area. The rain is coming down heavy now. The rain is a lot persistent.
Yes, it's right in the wind.
It's more persistent, isn't it?
It's persistent precipitation. Pernicious.
Persistent precipitation.
Yes, I can wish this is our rain cam. Look, this is our rain cam.
And it was wiped only seconds ago.
It's supposed to be dry tomorrow, thankfully.
Well, yeah, it's the United Kingdom in the just beginning of summer here, so it could be anything. It could be.
And will be.
Could be 8 degrees. Oh, there's a bit of debris there. Now that's a chain guard. That looks like
a mechanical.
That looks like a blue and white one.
Oh, 133. They're taking way too much curb. It seems that moment.
That's Callum Scrivens fighting the cart fighting the grip there, getting the front end to turn in there as Callum gets the grip, gets the power down. Let's see what his lap time is. Callum Scrivens through on where's he gone? 1 minute 5.095 for Callum.
Ben Ballou there on the 3.
Everybody going quicker, Nick. They've
really?
done 3 laps and everybody going quicker.
It's raining, so obviously it's a point. This is the hardest it's been raining, I think. So I assume it's the hardest. Yeah, perhaps now it's got to a point where the tyres are just on their optimum, because grip obviously will pick up before it goes again, and then it'll start dropping off again.
Well, the amount of rain that's falling now, I doubt we're going to see anybody beat that lap time from lap 3. Pretty much everybody's gone green. Bobby Rosier is the only driver that hasn't gone as quick as he did on lap 2, but that might have been at the point that the rain came. And you can see that there is a lot more surface water. You can see the spray now beginning. It's the first time we've seen spray all afternoon. We can't see anything from that first corner camera. That's pretty much due to the direction of the wind.
Yeah.
In fact, you can see the rain on our cameras now, can't you? It's still Gifford and Ballou on the provisional front row here. There is a huge gap, though, between Kieran Gifford's 61.473 and Ben Ballou's 61.830. 0.357 of a second is a huge margin. As 4 laps completed, 61.727, 62.323 for Ballou. And would you believe Dylan Morton has put his quickest time in a 62.327 on lap 4 when the track was clearly at its wettest.
No, but then again, it depends. It's really, you can get the tyres up to temperature, get them to grip through.
Maybe.
And don't forget, it's greasy before it's better for a bit. You've got that grease, right? But it's sitting on the oil and the rubber, and you can get through that. Yes, it's wet, but you've got more grip, and then it of course goes off where it's only water again. So it's kind of a small interim period. We've actually got more.
The missing chain guard has been found to belong to the number 83 of Bradley Howes. Unfortunately for Bradley, mechanical flag, but it depends on where he is on the track, because we're about to see a checkered flag in about 20 seconds or so.
20 seconds to go, as you can see on the gantry number there. Up at the top of the track again.
Jack Welch has been given a mechanical flag, and as far as I can see, he hasn't completed a lap. So I'm not sure if that's a transponder issue. The number 53 has been given technical defect. So
now, who's on the SW plate? Because they've also got a number, haven't
the
they?
SW plate
I think it's down as a number on the time. Oh, I know it's it's Blake Ticehurst.
Blake Ticehurst. Yeah.
It is them.
Now Blake is one of the favourites, one of the front runners, and he's, unless he can pull something out of the bag here, he's down the order in 18th. Guy Cunnington racing here with the number 14 of Arthur Thacker. He is on the orange, green and white colours of Guy Cunnington. As the checkered flag comes out, nobody has betted that 61.351 of Kieran Gifford. The number 7 will start on the front row of Group B. Ben Ballou, Macaulay Austin, Mason Perrin, Dylan Morton, Bobby Rosier on 3, Kieran Hammond, Sam Wyatt on 4, Bradley Howes completed the session, George Hulme, and then we've got Jacob Felton, Zauri Visarek, Joe Mills, Joseph Mills on the number 390 in 13th, Kai Prepro 14th, Blake Ticehurst 15th, and with some green lap times coming there right at the very end, Nick. Ben Ballou, for instance, in second, put in a 61.364, just 13 thousandths of a second slower than Gifford. So he went quicker than he has done on his final lap, as did Macaulay Austin, who's just over 2/10 slower than Kieran Gifford.
Just a point here that someone's taken a lot of grass on the track. If you look above the
yes,
the advertising,
that's going to have to be swept because that's the grid, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because next we go racing.
We do.
We absolutely go racing.
I'll be changing headsets in a second, and you'll have to talk to yourself.
Yes, absolutely.
Which I know you like doing.
I don't mind.
Oh, hang on. It's a close-up of... Is that a snake? No, it's a chain. It's a chain on the track.
It's a snake.
Well, it'd be great if it was, wouldn't it? Would be fantastic. But don't be funny about that, because there are tracks where you do get snakes.
Well, not in the UK, you don't.
There's snakes in the UK.
I didn't say there wasn't snakes.
If you've ever been to a UK track and seen the snake, can you please correct Joe Bradley?
Please tell us.
Yes.
If you've been to somewhere like Malaysia or Thailand or even Japan.
At Shah Alam in Indonesia, they used to run motorcycle Grand Prix, and people have fallen off, sliding off on a snake. They've gone round the corner and he's fallen off, because apparently snakes aren't very grippy.
Get away.
Yeah, they're quite
like frogs.
Well, no, yeah. Frogs aren't going to get out in the sun. No, so it's quite bad news. Obviously, it's quite bad news for the snakes because you get squished, but also not very good for the motorcyclist who falls off. William Carvell 9715. When are the TKMs on? Which is the TKM race?
The TKMs are on next after these Intermax.
So there's 2, and then 1, and then the Intermax.
There's 2, and then 1. Sorry, Nick. There's 2, and then there's 1. What are you talking about?
I mean, there's 2. 1. Anyway, it's the second heat.
No, let me explain. For that, who was that?
William Carvell 9715.
Right. Will, they're on after this one.
Might not be a Will. It might be a Bill or a William. You don't know. You said Will.
It says William. William Carvell. They're on after this. This is Intermax. But getting ready in the collecting area. Do we have a grid, Nick?
Oh, hang on a second. We may well do, actually.
Well, you put your other headset on and become the producer.
Oh, my other face on. Yeah, hold on. Oh, no, that's wrong. Okay, here we go. Hold on.
There it is. Alfie Phillipson with that changeable track condition puts the cart on the pole. Ethan Manzi alongside. Then we've got Jack Daniels and Bradley Beggs. Callum Miller and Thomas Gulliver on 3. Travis Owens and Freya Bond share row 4. Row 5 is Oscar Tarsi and Rishan Kosler. Ayrton Goldsworthy and Kian Kostler share 6. Row 7 is Aurelia Simpson and Billy Barnes, with Lucas Gray and Mai Maru on row 8. Row 9 is Max Tomsit and Deacon Thomas. And then rounding off 19 carts is Zane Williams. Now then,
as they say.
Now then.
I'm
going to have a look at the championship.
And I'm going to take the headset off.
And you're going to do that while I get up the championship table for this one. So this is Heat 1 for Intermax, Inter-Rotax, Minimax, call it what you will. It has very varied names across UK karting. We call it Inter-Rotax here at the Junction 6 NKC. And with the grid already formed in the collecting area. The track is ever wetter. There is no doubt about it that those protagonists for this one are on wet tyres. No question about that whatsoever. As we head towards this first round, championship standings in Intermax as Ethan McNally Roberts at the front of the field. Now then, Ethan McNally Roberts is not here this weekend. So for whatever reason, if you know why Ethan McNally Roberts isn't here, then please tell us. Zane Williams is currently second in the championship. And as I scroll down the grid to see Zane Williams in 19th, there was some sort of technical infringement that he was on a 49.3. So that would have had him up the order, not making this any easier for him. 49.3 would have had him on the front row of the grid. However, Zane has not gotten through tech and has been put to the back of the grid for whatever reason that was. He's currently second in the championship, so he's got the thing about time qualifying is there's Zane at the back in the orange helmet. He's now going to be starting all three of his heats at the very back of this field. So that's going to be interesting from us. We're in the entertainment business here on Karting Live TV. So we're going to enjoy seeing Zane make progress. It's a Coles Racing front row, it looks like. Alfie Phillipson and Ethan Manzi. Coles Racing are a team, very well experienced team, who know how to put these karts together. And currently, with 2 formation laps for the drivers to become acclimatised with the track conditions, which I've got to say have quite literally been changing by the absolute minute. At the moment, our camera at Oblivion and Crook is like watching through a stained glass window, a very monochrome stained glass window that is. That's chicane cam. We have got the carts just coming down the hill towards Ashby. The leaders will gather themselves up and start slowing down by the time they come through the 2 left-handers here. They're already heading towards Chapman, this next left-hander here. Here they are. They begin to... Alfie Phillipson's job is to slow the pace down, allow the field to catch up. Jack Daniels and Bradley Beggs are the carts that are filing in behind them. Bradley Beggs has shown great amount of pace there on the Cartel liveried cart, the purple and white cart. Behind them, Callum Miller and Thomas Gulliver, Travis Owens, Freya Bond, Oscar Tarsi, Rishan Kosler, Ayrton Goldsworthy and Kian Kosler. We have a great interview with Kian and Rishan Kosler, the twin brothers running with Ollie Hancock's team. As you would imagine, I would like to play Monopoly in their house or any other board games. Here we go then. For the first time in round 3 of the Junction 6 NKC, we go racing into Oblivion and through Crook. We can just see what is happening. The cart's scrabbling for grip, and thankfully, and the good news is that everybody has made it out of Crook and already up the hill towards Christmas into the right-hander. And you can just see how tricky these conditions are. I think we saw Oscar Tarsi going around the outside of a cart here, around the outside of Christmas there, into Ashby. All the way around the outside, you'll notice as well, on the wet line, staying off the conventional textbook line. The number 8 going very wide indeed there was Lucas Gray, ending up off the track and across the curb, all the way around the outside for Alfie Phillipson. And everybody keeping their cart on the track, which is a round of applause to these youngsters. As we get, and we've got a spinner, and that is Alfie Phillipson, the pole position driver, has lost it at the boot for the first time. It looked like it was Alfie who was leading, and now he's got the red mist. As across the line goes the number 4, Ethan Manzi, the Coles Racing teammate, leads from Jack Daniels, Bradley Beggs, Thomas Gulliver, Callum Miller. Alfie Phillipson crosses the line in 6th. Ayrton Goldsworthy, Oscar Tarsi's made up some places to 8th. Billy Barnes makes up 6 places to 9th. Lucas Gray, Kian Kosler, Max Tomsit, Rishan Kosler, down to 13th. Zane Williams from 19th up to 14th. His recovery drive after that disqualification out of qualifying put him on the back of the grid. Little bit of a encouragement there from the recovering Alfie Phillipson. He's looking impatient, trying to get around the outside at Parker is not really the move to make. He's going to try to get round the outside of Chapman as well. The orange and blue cart there looking very, very racy indeed, nestling up against the rear bumper of Callum Miller. He's now made his way through. He's up towards Bradley Beggs now. Bradley Beggs in third place, and down the inside finds grip from somewhere as Beggs slid wide on the purple and white cart there. Beggs sliding wide there around the boot as the rest of the field come through. These youngsters absolutely scrabbling for grip here. As it's 2 laps completed, Tarsi loses out to Billy Barnes and drops to 9th. Alfie Phillipson up to 3rd, as we said there. And another cart on the move, Cian Costler, up to 10th ahead of Lucas Gray, who drops to 11th. We've got Aurelia Simpson down to 18th. Where's Zane Williams? He's still at 14th there. He's trying to get towards the back of Rishan Costler. But there's the 22 of Thomas Gulliver, just off the back of these two. It's Bradley Beggs now with Callum Miller on the purple and white cart just behind the purple. Well, we've got purple and white cart there of Bradley Beggs, and then the dark blue and black and white of the number 111, Callum Miller, who's looking very challenging here. Looks like he might be even thinking about getting by Beggs as Manzi goes through to complete 3 laps. Jack Daniels still second. Phillipson now settling into 3rd. It's Beggs, Miller, Gulliver, Goldsworthy across the line in 7th. Billy Barnes 8th, Tarsi 9th, Cian Costler 10th. Zane Williams up another 3 places to 11th there, from 19th to 11th in 3 laps. As we edge towards the half distance, just over 4 minutes remaining. As we've got Jack Daniels now not quite on terms with Ethan Manzi. That is still, that one for 4th and 5th still continues. As we look towards the boot area, which is where the leaders are just coming out of, that's the battle for 4th and 5th. That's going to rage on, I think, because Callum Miller just can't find a way by. As Manzi comes through, there's Daniels. He's now being challenged, I think, by Alfie Phillipson for 2nd and 3rd. As that battle for 4th and 5th continues through oblivion. There's the leader. Oh, and there's a spinner. That's the back marker, Mai Maru. Mai not quite on terms there with the brake pedal and locked the back end there. Spears off. This is the recovering Alfie Phillipson on that blue and red, or blue and orangey red of Coles Racing. The number 61, Jack Daniels, looks over his shoulder. Jack fully aware of the situation here. Jack Daniels currently 11th in the championship, being challenged by Phillipson for sure. Can Phillipson find a way by? Phillipson, remember, the quickest driver in qualifying, started on the pole position. That part of the track there, that's where he lost it on lap 1, coming around to complete 1 lap. That's allowed his teammate Ethan Manzi off into the lead. And at the moment, Phillipson struggling to stay on terms with the back bumper of Jack Daniels, who seems to have pace. The cart slipping and sliding around here. Bit of a difference of opinion as Phillipson looks down the inside, slots back onto the grippier line around the outside of Christmas Corner. And Phillipson kind of giving us the impression that he has got pace to get by Jack Daniels, but Jack Daniels just denying that fact as he punches out of the corner again, punches out of Ashby, now through the sweeping left here into the corner here. That's called Chapman. That tightens up on you. Stay off the exit curb. A little bit of a kink onto the back straight here. Phillipson looking down the inside. He's made the move. He made that space happen for him. Out of Chapman pulled alongside, and now we've got a Coles 1-2. So it's Coles Racing first place, Ethan Manzi. Coles Racing now in second place with Alfie Phillipson. Let's see what the gap is, 2.4 seconds. Can Phillipson catch his teammate with just over a minute on the clock? It's a big ask, but then it's so easy to make a mistake here as Manzi goes down the inside line, the grippier inside line, less rubbered in line down the inside of Christmas. There is no change down the order apart from Rishan Kosler up to 11th spot now as demoted Oscar Tarsi down to 12th. Other than that, Alfie Phillipson was the only mover. Now then, the gap was 2.4 seconds at the line. They have, I think, Ethan Manzi's going to make his way around. He absolutely is. He's already coming out the boot here. So they'll come through the chicane. That's Manzi. That is Phillipson, the chasing Phillipson. Across the line, 18 or so seconds, 17, 16 seconds on the clock. And the gap is down to 1.2. So it was 2.4. He's half the gap. And with 2 more laps of racing, my estimation here, if they continue at this pace with the fastest lap of the race now, Alfie Phillipson there, he's got the bit between his teeth, kicking himself for that harmless spin, pirouetting at the boot on lap 1. He's now chasing after his teammate Ethan Manzi. And if he can make the same sort of progress as he did on the previous lap, he's going to be right on the bumper going into the final lap of this first heat. This is heat number 1 for the Inter-Rotax class, and you can see that. Throw your stopwatches away, we don't need it. They're in the same shot on our screens here, into the boot. Alfie Phillipson has indeed caught Ethan Manzi. This is the battle for the lead. It's an all Coles 1-2. Ethan Manzi, as we suspected what might happen, has now got Alfie Phillipson on his rear bumper into the final lap. The last lap board is shown. Final lap, it says, across the gantry. It's going to need Ethan Manzi to defend, because it's one thing catching someone, it's another thing overtaking, but Alfie Phillipson has shown that he can do that and makes his way past down the inside of his teammate. The inside line of Christmas Corner. Let's have a look at this. Textbook. Out of Crook, up the hill towards Christmas, and he was positioned the kart alongside his teammate Ethan Manzi, who didn't put up much of a fight, didn't squeeze. So a change of lead, and Alfie Phillipson, having started from pole, dropped down to I think about 5th place, maybe 4th with that spin, regained his composure and then fought his way back through, and he's back into the lead of this race, and now about to take the first checkered flag of the weekend here in the Junction 6 NKC as he goes across the curb at the chicane, and it will be Alfie Phillipson who takes the win. Ethan Manzi, his teammate, second. Look at the gap. There's a very lonely Jack Daniels crosses the line. And then we've got a change for 4th on the previous lap as Callum Miller finally found a way by Bradley Beggs and will finish 4th. It's Beggs who finishes 5th. Thomas Gulliver 6th. The rest of the field come through, and it is Zane Williams. So Zane Williams from 19th on the grid through to 7th with that recovery drive after that disqualification, having qualified second quickest, then had a disqual in technical inspection of some sort, I'm not quite sure what. He came through to 7th, Billy Barnes 8th, Ed Goldsworthy 9th. It's the 2 Kostler boys, that is 10th and 11th, that's Kian and Rishan. Oscar Tarsi ended up 12th, Freya Bond 13th. As we get the result on our screens, Oscar Tarsi finishes behind the Kostler twins, and then from there we've got Freya Bond, Lucas Gray, Max Tomsit, Aurelia Simpson, Travis Owens, Mai Maru with that harmless spin at Christmas, and Deacon Thomas. The novice driver Deacon Thomas at the back. In fact, Deacon Thomas did not complete one lap. He went out, but then pulled off. So Deacon Thomas was a retirement. The novice driver Mai Maru Still finding her feet is Mai, rounding off 18th. That concludes our first heat of the weekend, and that was for Intermax. Next out, we've got our senior TKM class. Let's have a look at the grid for that, shall we? Perhaps arguably the most competitive of classes, the TKMs. I'm just trying to get the grid up on our screens. It is Senior TKM Heat 1. Let's have a look. It's the, if you remember from qualifying, Alexander Lehman there, right at the end of qualifying, put in the fastest lap. Matthew Harris will start alongside. We've got Jake Cox and Charlie King. Ben Watson will start alongside Will Cregeen on row 3. Row 4 is Jamie Scott and Tom Johnson. Leah Crabtree and Samuel King on row 5. Sam Jones and Joseph Booth on row 6. Sean Abbott and Matt Slate on row 7. Al Patterson. Al, the winner at Rowra, remember, down in 15th with Michael Cornell, the winner of round 1. Alongside him in 16th, Mitchell Ball, former double champion. Mitchell is 17th. Dominic Pine 18th. Chris Whiteside is 19th with Ian Calichurn qualifying 20th. And then Matthew Temple Purcell and Matthew Walton share 11. Row 12 is Jack Morrison and Ryan Messer. James Hull and Yelena Osbar Scott are on row 16. Row 17 is Nathan Bullock and James King. D. Bolt and Leanna Page start on row 15. And then, in fact, Leanna Page and Molly Nicholas Biles didn't post a time in qualifying. That's why they are starting 30th and 31st. But I think the talking point, as I'm going to talk amongst myself here, as Nick is busy, where you can.
I can join you like this in a weird way.
Yeah, go on then. The interesting one here is Al Patterson, 49.4 in qualifying. Michael Cornell. Al Patterson, winner of round 2, in the final that is. Michael Cornell, winner of round 1, and fastest Masters, by the way, is not the fastest Masters here in qualifying. That goes to Matthew Harris, who will start on the front row of the grid. But there's those 3 really quick drivers there, Al Patterson, Michael Cornell, Mitchell Ball, all starting 15, 16, 17. So qualifying not quite to their liking, it seemed, in those damp conditions, Nick.
No, I mean, it was very much a, you had to take your chance on the particular lap, and the next lap wasn't the same. In the early rain we had, before this later rain, they noticed now it's stopped, and I think it'll dry out quite quickly. Yeah, because if we do get a run, it's a bit brighter. It's not bright, but it's a bit brighter.
Yeah, it is a bit. It is. Well, it's less grey.
Yeah, I do with the whole thing. It's
a lighter shade of grey. Well, there's no tyre changing going on, so I think that's more of a recovery job going on. Has anybody wiped our camera?
Need recovery, I don't think. Not recently. The man. No, someone has wiped our camera. Actually, our camera's been cleaned again. Look at that. Marvellous.
Fantastic. Great job.
Camera cleaner is the most. I mean, you can have a macaroon, definitely. There's macaroons for camera cleaning.
You have to.
I'm not sure about a whole today's pay, though. I couldn't afford another £3. And they're away, Joe, so off to you.
So we've got our TKMs leaving the collecting area to start what will be their first heat for round 3 of the Junction 6 NKC. The championship has got Mitchell Ball leading it. Now, Mitch is, by the way, we've got 6 more entries than we had at round 2, 31 carts starting this one. Mitchell Ball is a 4-time TKM champion, 2019, 2020, and then back-to-back championships in 23 and 24. He's undoubtedly trying to do get another one. William Carvel seems quite dry. It's damp, it's horrible and greasy. You're only 1 minute away from the circuit, William. Yeah, it stopped raining. But that track is, I think you're right. I think the ambient temperature is such that we are maybe going to see that horrible situation of not quite ready for slicks, but slicks being the option of the tyre or tearing up a set of wets very quickly. If you're only 1 minute away from the track, why aren't you here trackside? If you could walk it. If you can drive it in 1 minute, then it's a 6-minute walk. Anyway, William, hopefully you might be planning on coming out tomorrow to... It's a better weather forecast as well. The red lights are on. The red lights go out, and it is chaos and absolute lack of communication there. The false start flag flew very quickly. We had a cart that was rear-ended. Is that the number 24 or something there, Nick? I'm not quite sure who that was that got rear-ended and spun around. It might have been the 84 or indeed Leo Crabtree. Ear-level revision. Well, William, that's very, very sensible of you. Yes, that's very, very sensible, because you need a good job to afford to go karting. So stick in, son. Get yourself to uni. Plenty of time to come to a racetrack. Well done, William. What you're studying, let us know. Might be able to help you. It's a long time since I took my A-levels. In fact, I didn't take A-levels. I went to technical college. Here we go then. Let's try this again with our grid being brought around. The tinted visor there of Alexander Lehman looking very menacing, doesn't it? The blue sort of mirrored tint of the white helmet of Alexander Lehman. He was the all-plate winner last season, which took place. It was the in conjunction with the round at Warden Law. It's here at Whilton Mill this year with the number 10, Matthew Harris, on the all-black cart. Let's see if we can do this again as we get things underway. The red light goes out and stays out. We're off to oblivion, and it's Lehman who leads into turn one. Crook, we've got a cart spearing off to the right there through oblivion, but it's definitely Lehman on the yellow and blue livery of Flex Racing. The Klassen team are well represented there with the green and black. And then down the inside has gone the number 7, Charlie King. Didn't quite come off as the number, I think that was the number 10 who hung on to it. Yes, it was Charlie King forcing the issue and using a bit of a tin opener there through Inkermans. And Charlie King forcing his way down the inside of the off-camber turn at Ashby. And it's Charlie King who leads. But round the outside has gone the number 10, Matthew Harris. These TKMs race really well. King trying to be overly defensive there, but the number 10, Matthew Harris, the first of the Masters and the overall leader as we head out. Charlie King on the grass towards the boot there, over the curb and more. As he bounces his way into the boot, he will lead into the Nouvelle Chicane for the first time here in the TKM first heat, and will indeed lead across the line to lead Heat 1 after one lap of racing. It is Charlie King, Matthew Harris, Jamie Scott, Alexander Lehman, Leo Crabtree, Joe Booth, Sam Johns, Tom Johnson, Sam King, Jake Cox is the driver. That rounds off the top 10, but I've got to mention Mitchell Ball up 5 places to 11th there. Michael Cornell up 4 places to 13th. Where is Mr. Patterson then? Al Patterson has dropped down 7. So Al having a nightmare of a first lap there. We thought we might see him coming through the field, but the battle rages on at the front here. Oh, getting on that very slippery curve. Now then, there's our 2 leaders, Charlie King and Matthew Harris. Is that Jamie Scott, the number 1, or is it Lehman who's come through into 3rd? As the scrapping going on in the midfield. Oh, and there's a nice little sedate little spin for Leo Crabtree, who just pressed the brake pedal, the rear end locked up, and there was no getting that back, was there? Let's have another look at this. A little bit of a harmless one here. Just gets it all wrong. The back end locks up, and he's got time to even wave a hand in annoyance with himself, I think, there. I'm not sure if he got help round there. I don't think he did. As the 2 flex carts there, Jamie Scott. Oh, and Jamie Scott, as Alexander Lehman loses another place to Sam Johns. Lehman went around the outside. That, to me, is an indication that this track is drying, because the number 22, Sam Johns, is the brave driver there of trying down the conventional racing line. Here's the Tony cart of Joseph Booth, is it, the number 4? And there's the number 1 scrapping away there, and he spins. The number 1, Jamie Scott, our current champion from 2025, who was being very defensive and aggressive coming out of Parker, and then tries to squeeze the issue, gets down the inside of the number 22, but there just wasn't room there down the inside of Sam Johns, and ends up off the track and down the order. Charlie King, Matthew Harris across the line, first and second. There's a gap of just over 4 seconds before the number 4, Joe Booth, Sam Johns, Tom Johnson, Lehman down to 6th, Mitchell Ball up to 7th, Sam King up to 8th, up 3 places on Michael Cornell and Jake Cox in 10th place, rounding off that top 10. Track beginning to show signs of it drying. It looks it's that transitional point in a track where it turns from wet to greasy and just moist, isn't it? That's what you could say. That exit curb at Ashby is lethal. There is zero grip there. You can see the standing water still staying on it, as Sam Johns, the number 22 on the red and black, the red and grey kart there, is comfortable, I would say, as comfortable as you can be in these conditions, as Matthew Harris just looks very comfortable, as does the number 4 Joe Booth coming off the chicane curb there. Kart's bouncing across that inside curb there, which has been absolutely shorn down for safety use. Not so much of a kart damager these days. Here's a challenge down the inside for Klassen Motorsport. Has gone the number 6, Tom Johnson, down the inside of the number 22, Sam Johns, and off he goes. Off he goes, 6th in the championship last year. That's why he's carrying a seeded number. The number 3's coming down the inside now. Mitchell Ball just gets a little bit of a nudge, but Mitchell Ball moving up to 5th place as Mitchell Ball challenges the number 6. These two, as the number 22 comes back. This is great TKM racing, isn't it? Absolutely phenomenal stuff here. Charlie King still leads. Let's not forget about Charlie as Mitchell Ball has another look at Sam Johns. The number 6 there, Tom Johnson's thinking, how did I end up back behind these two? Mitchell Ball through on the number 22 as the number 22 scrabbles for grip there. Sam Johns scrabbling for grip out of the boot. And Mitchell Ball finding grip from somewhere with those tyres now crying out for water because the track is drying all the time. Look at the outside line there, you can see. This is a cracking drive from the number 3 there on the yellow and blue flex kart here. Mitchell Ball, 4-time TKM champion here in the Junction 6 NKC. In fact, Mitchell Ball, of course, his family business is Junction 6. And we once again thank Mitch and his family for his support here, supporting this championship for the past 2 years, supporting the championship by being here and competing. As he tries to get away from Sam Johns, and it is working. So Mitch has got that kart handling well. As we've got now a bit of a bottleneck in the form of the number 22. As Charlie King's gone through, gap is 2 seconds to Matthew Harris, who's got a further 4.8 seconds to Joe Booth, who has got 1.8 seconds to Mitchell Ball. And then we've got that train of karts there. Sam Johns, Tom Johnson, Samuel King, Michael Cornell, Alexander Lehman's dropped to 9th, Al Patterson up to 10th. He's gaining ground all the time now. Al dropped, I think, 7 places at the start from a lowly grid position after time qualifying, and now makes his way back up this order. That midfield pack there beginning to sort of drop away from each other, but there, just ahead of Michael Cornell, has gone. Was that Alexander Lehman who's gone through, or was that Al Patterson? So there's the number 6, Tom Johnson. He's into the boot now, through the right-hander. Ahead of him is Sam Johns. Tom not really able to get into a position where he perhaps can challenge, and if anything, these two have pulled away. That's Joe Booth, Mitchell Ball. Here is Tom Johnson just behind Sam Johns, and then the rest of the field coming through, as it was indeed Michael Cornell getting ahead of Samuel King. Now he challenges. Now the number 6, Tom Johnson, is right there on the bumper of Sam Johns, who is likewise on the bumper of Mitchell Ball, and it's going to be one more lap of racing the next time these karts come through. We have got the leader, Charlie King, just up the road a little bit, as we've got the number 7 just going into the boot now to take the what will be the last lap board here for the leader. And we'll try and pick our leader up as he Mitchell Ball seems to have that in control. If anything, Mitchell Ball looks like he's catching the Tony Kart ahead of him, of Joe Booth. As Charlie King heading up towards Christmas now. Here he comes. He's on the number 7. Clearly see the wet tyres there, and he really has been the driver to beat here. He's got a gap of 3 seconds before Matthew Harris comes by. Into Chapman, and heading towards the final stages of this lap then, just in front of us on the back straight there towards the boot, it will be Charlie King in great fine form here in TKM as ever. We've seen how quick Charlie King can be in this class before, and indeed in this class at Whilton Mill, and he will take Heat 1 in very, very dominant style in these very difficult and changing conditions. It's Matthew Harris who finishes as second overall and first in the Masters. There is Joe Booth across the line, Mitchell Ball, Sam Johns, Tom Johnson, and then in 7th, Al Patterson gets ahead of Michael Cornell there on the last lap and finishes in 7th from starting 15th. But equally great drive from Michael Cornell, who started 16th and got himself up to 8th place. Samuel King finished 9th. Alexander Lehman was 10th. We'll have a look at the official results in a moment as the rest of the field then take their checkered flag. There it is then. Charlie King, Matthew Harris, Joe Booth, Mitchell Ball, Sam Johns, Tom Johnson. And then in 7th place we had Al Patterson with a great drive there. Michael Cornell, Samuel King, Alexander Lehman rounds off the top 10 from Paul, Jake Cox, Ian Calichurn, the E-plate holder, and then Ben Watson, Jack Morrison, Matt Slate, Leo Crabtree, Sean Abbott, Jamie Scott was 18th, the current champion after he had that spin, remember. James King is in 19th place, third in the Masters for James. And then we had Nathan Bullock, Dominic Pine, Matthew Temple Purcell, D. Bolt was 23rd, Matthew Horton 24th. And then rounding off the 28 kart field, we had James Hull, Chris Whiteside, Will Cregeen, and Yelena Osbar-Scott, who did not complete the race, actually. Yelena went out after 5 laps, and Will Cregeen completed 8 laps. So, there's the clue. I think that's the number, is that the number 19? That's Yelena Osbar-Scott's kart there, just being recovered from Crook Corner. No, there's, what number is that? The number 17, is that? Oh, that's from the previous race, Nick. So next out will be the first look at the Rotax 177s. This is a grouping of karts from both groups A and B, with the quickest of Group A on the left-hand side of the grid, the quickest of Group B on the right, in lap time order from the earlier time qualifying session. Got another 4 heats for you before we conclude our coverage for today. We've got a junior Rotax heat coming up next after this 177, and then 2 senior groups.
And how close do you think we are to the crossover now it's not really raining? Actually, just saying that, it started raining again. I can see in the wind now, it just started again. I was just about to say, it's going to dry out, and it's just started raining again.
Yep, Brolly's going up in front of us, Nick.
Yeah.
That's how we can tell as well. People putting up their Brollies. I used to hate racing on days like this. Well,
but we were racing so long ago, we had whirly visors on. You love a whirly visor.
Yeah, you did. I never had a whirly visor.
Nah,
I came from car racing.
I don't believe you understood basic physics.
You what, sorry?
I don't know. Whirly visors are best.
So William Carvell said he would have been racing in the TKMs if he didn't have any levels. Well, that's very commendable, William.
I don't know. I get the impression that could have been an instruction from above. Just guessing.
Yeah, well, yeah, you've got your A levels, mate. They are important. Is it your first year of A levels, or are these the
No,
real?
he's doing the actual A levels. It'd be the actual A levels, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose.
The actual
Yeah.
thing,
Well,
you
it
know.
could be his first year. It could be his very important final year.
You wouldn't miss a race for mocks.
Is it mocks in your first year?
Well,
It is, isn't it?
They don't count for
you
anything.
don't go for the year level.
Yeah, they don't count for anything.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, well done, William. That is very important. Much more important than where you would finish in the TKMs, even though you would have had a lot of fun. And to be honest, mate, it's absolutely atrocious conditions.
It is. You're not missing much. So much so that I'm going to let Joe talk about the rest of it.
Yeah, I'm going to see if I can find the grid for these 177s. There it is. Groups A. We've got a mix of groups A and B. Will Murdoch for LRG. That's the red and white cart there, the red, white and gold cart that's heading the field. Ollie Owen goes alongside, will be starting alongside. The second row of the group, going to have the grid up in a moment actually, will be Ashton Parsons and Marcus Basley. That doesn't reflect that, what I'm seeing there, Nick. So I'm not sure. So Marcus Basley, Toby Case, Ryan Taylor Truman making a return for round 3. George Walker, Patrick Williams-Raj, Joshua Pickford, Jason Gardner, Michael Cheek making a return, former 177 British champion in 2019. Great to see him. Our vice champion is 12th there. Steve Gilly, Tyler Fossey, Mark Gilly, Mark Marston, Harry Taylor, Carl Bryant. Now, Carl finished way up the order in time qualifier, if I remember rightly. So that must be a reason why he's down the order there in 18th. 19 cart field. Are we going to get them underway as they head towards the red light? The red light goes out, and we are indeed racing. Will Murdoch, from the pole position, loses out massively, ends up through Oblivion, comes out of Oblivion in third, and then goes back to first as the two carts who got ahead of him, which was Ashton Parsons and Marcus Basley, I think. I say I think because I couldn't tell. But it's certainly Will Murdoch who sat there composed and said, see you later, boys, because you're never going to have the grip to get around that corner, and he was proved right. He leads for the first time into Ashby, scrabbling for grip as one of the carts, the number 11 of Marcus Basley, does a pirouette. It's caused absolute chaos. We've got carts climbing over one another. And here we are, just coming out. No, that was TKM's. We had absolute chaos there on the run towards Parker out of Ashby with a cart spinning. As we get towards lap 1 and look at the lead of Will Murdoch. That's the second, third and fourth place carts there. Will Murdoch has gone. He's checked out. He's got a gap of 3.7 seconds. That's Jason Gardner, who leads Masters, from Ollie Owen in third. Ryan Taylor Truman up to fourth. Josh Pickford, Archie Elliott. Archie Elliott up 6 places, would he be? Mark Gilly has come up 8 places, but Rob Simpson has come up 16 places to 8th in the order. Cole Edwards 8th. This is all caused by that fracas, isn't it? Alexander Colinciano up 6 places to 10th. And there's Matthew Lambert up to 13th, up 14 places, bringing Ian Brandfield with him. Carl Bryan down 2 to 15th. It all kicked off on that first lap, but this has played lovely into the hands of Will Murdoch, who had a great run in the final at round 2 at Rowra. Rowra being a team. He's from the north of England, of course, is Will. So he was very familiar with Rowra. He's looking very familiar with Wilton Mill. It's not the first time here for the LRG Motorsport driver, as we've got Jason Gardner chasing him down the rest of the field through on the Nouvelle chicane. That curb's really shallow now. Done a great job here at Wilton Mill sorting that one out. Gardner on the Lando Norris cart there, looking like he's breaking away. That's the number 1 of Ryan Taylor Truman, who has got Ollie Owen behind him. Can Taylor Truman, who's got his Saudi overalls on, but I believe that Ryan did start the season at Dunkswell on an OTK chassis. I'm not quite sure which one it was, as he's being challenged there by Ollie Owen, but that was more about just finding the grip here. Ryan Taylor Truman, of course, twice champion here in 25 and 24 in this category. wanting to make it 3 in a row, isn't he? Just there, you see the way he leant into the corner there, leant to the outside, just to try and get the outside wheels to grip. Now, he's not really making any ground on Jason Gardner, who's having a cracking time. It looks like he's on the right engine as well, is Jason. He's leading the Masters. He's the quickest Master here in second place overall. The gap to Will Murdoch, by the way, is 4.1 seconds. But if my eyes do not deceive me, Ryan Taylor-Truman is not really gaining that much ground. The gap was a second at the line. Looks like it's about the same there. He's not really making any ground towards that second place cart. If anything, Ollie Owen looks like he's looking like he could challenge there. Just trying to see if that's a Roalf cart for Ollie Owen. The yellow and blue Roalf team livery. TT Motorsports, Ryan Taylor-Truman's team, of course. TT, Taylor-Truman. He's on the Origin white livery of his team. And you saw the way that he took the amount of curb. In fact, everybody's taking all of the curb and more there on the inside of Oblivion, hooking the inside of the curb there to assist the carts getting through the corner. And Ollie Owens there on the blue and yellow cart there with the blue helmet there. Ollie looking very racy, just kind of gives us the illusion that he's about to challenge Taylor-Truman, who, as ever, has proved to be. Oh, and there it is. As Taylor-Truman slid wide, Ollie Owens slid through, but the grip was on the outside for Taylor-Truman. And as he put the power down, the traction was there for him. And he just maintained that third place. Scrabbling for grip now as the rain seems to have... Has it gone away? Or is it still... has it gone away or is it still coming down? I still see brollies up, so it's still... if anything, the track getting wetter because we've got spray now coming up from the tyres. And we've got Jason Gardner has been caught. Is being caught by Ryan Taylor-Truman, who just flicks that cart on the brakes there, catching the rear end, locking up. Taylor-Truman right on the rear bumper of that Lando Norris cart now and looking for a way by for second place. The gap to the leader, Will Murdoch, has gone out to 4.7 seconds. There's 2 minutes remaining on this clock. So plenty of time for Taylor-Truman to get by Jason Gardner. However, not quite sure anyone's going to be able to catch Will Murdoch. Will just coming out of the boot as everyone else goes into the boot here. Taylor-Truman trying to maybe just hassle the Masters driver Jason Gardner into a mistake, which is easy to make here. And Ollie Owens not done as well. Pulls alongside across the line. Absolutely nothing in it. 38 thousandths of a second was the timing beam trip by that yellow and blue cart there alongside Taylor-Truman. That's to slot in behind, of course. Off towards Christmas, and Taylor-Truman's lost contact now with the rear bumper of Jason Gardner, the cart ahead of him. Over the curb at Inkermans, down towards Ashby. Very tricky this. Downhill, off camber, all the way around the outside. Stay off the curb if you can. Very, very wet, that exit curb at Ashby. And Ollie Owens, this is where he did it before, pulls alongside, but there's traction there on the outside for Taylor-Truman, who just sits there composed, not flustered at all by the appearance of Ollie Owen down his inside. If anything, he's not able to stay with Jason Gardner because he's fending off Ollie Owens, it seems. As Will Murdoch crosses the line, it's going to be the last lap board next time by, so he's on his penultimate lap here. Off towards Christmas as this battle for... that is Jason Gardner there on the LN. There is Ryan Taylor-Truman, and there is Ollie Owen. So Taylor-Truman now lost contact, it seems, with Jason Gardner after being right on Gardner's bumper there. These three, second, third and fourth place in this field. The left-hander here through Parker. And look at the way that Ryan Taylor-Truman just fighting the steering there just to get that front end of grip to turn into the corner. Finding scraping through the moisture to get to the tarmac. Over the curb. And it looks like time is indeed running out. There's Gardner. There's Taylor Truman. There's Owen. Murdoch has already got the last lap board. There it is. Final lap, says the board. As the leader heads up towards Christmas Corner there. Here he comes. The red, white and gold livery of LRG Motorsport. Will Murdoch. He had a lot of pace at Rowrah in the final. This is the first heat for the Rotax 177s. We know how quick Will is. He's a top 10 finisher in last year's championship, carrying that number 7, the seeded number. Into the left-hander Parker for the final time this afternoon. They'll be back out, of course, in the 177s tomorrow with a full day of racing ahead of us here in the Junction 6 NKC. This one, though, the first heat, perhaps being given a bit of a false impression here. Will started on the pole position, but he's got a huge lead, and that's because there was absolute chaos reigned behind him. But all credit to Will for a fine drive there to the flag. He didn't make any mistakes whatsoever and maintained, if not indeed increased the lead, as it finishes 4.3 seconds at the line from Jason Gardner, who finishes as the first Masters as well. Ryan Taylor Truman in third, Ollie Owen fourth, and then we had Cole Edwards up from 20, do I read that right? Up from 21st, where he started, to fourth place for Cole Edwards, to fifth place, for Cole Edwards. Archie Elliott started 12th, came through to 6th. George Walker dropped just one place actually to 7th, and then Rob Simpson, Ian Branfield, that's second and third in the Masters. There's your result. With your first 6, Will Murdoch taking the win, and then we've got George Walker in 7th, Rob Simpson, Ian Branfield, Alexander Colanciano, Mark Gilley and Toby Case, and then we had Steve Gilley, Michael Cheek making a return, Jake Davis, Joshua Pickford, Carl Bryan, another driver making a return as a bit of a one-off according to Carl. Now Carl started at the back, made his way through to 17th. That's a pretty good, impressive drive. 18th was Richard Evans, 19th was Nathan Wells. And then we had Ashton Parsons, Tyler Fossey, Marcus Basley, Max Marston, Martin Marison, Harry Taylor, and then in fact, Harry Taylor was the last finisher, as we lost Patrick Williams, Rohage, Billy Clark, and Matthew Lambert. Now that's interesting because Matthew, he comes to every Junction 6 NKC as a contender for the win, but certainly the Nipsport driver wanting to remain in contention for a good run in the championship. Currently 6th in the championship is Matthew. Took the win at Dunkswell. Took 2 wins at Dunkswell and then took a penalty after winning on the road at Dunkswell. Ended up finishing the final in 5th place. Now something happened there because he was way off. Next out then, we've got our Junior Rotax, the first look of Junior Rotax, and this is a mix of groups A and B. Let's have a look at the grid. Jack Dimbleby is on the front row with Benjamin Lawn alongside. We've got Jensen Hookey in 3rd place, and Sam Green Gomez will line up alongside Liam Crosby and Hugo McCluskey. Great effort from Hugo in time qualifying. He was on row 3. Row 4 is Eden Salvage and Daniel Adamitis. Harry Wright and Tyler Rackham share row 5. Ethan Hunt and Hector Sadlowski on row 6. Amelie Davey and Harry Harvey are on row 7. Bertie Hodgson and Lucy Lovell share row 8. Row 9 is Jesse Whitmore and Fenton Roderick. Freddie Wall and Nico Verbers share row 5. Row 6 is Jake Blamey and Cody Longdon. Zach Charles and William Spencer on row 12. Aaron Maidment and Callum Wilson on row 13. Row 14 is Harrison Matthews and Philip Jankowski. Reese Kelso and Libby Venus share row 15. Row 16 is Charlie White and James Gordon. And then rounding off a 33-cart field is Jacob Jarman. So Junior Rotax, 49 carts entered for this third round. 15 more entries than we had at round 2, so things looking very good for a great championship run into the rest of the season. We've got our first 2 rounds, of course, the North-South Challenge, which we've got the results of them, which we'll be able to bring you. The North-South Challenge was won in Junior Rotax by Benjamin Lawn, who starts on the front row of this grid. And Benjamin Lawn for Coles Racing there on the left-hand side of the screen. The Guy Cunnington driver alongside him in the form of Jack Dimbleby. We're getting another wave around. So these junior drivers will get another chance to continue around. Getting some heat into those wet tyres. Just look how slippery it is. There, Jack Dimbleby throwing the cart in and then balancing it on the throttle all the way through around the outside of Christmas. Lovely to watch, Jack. Well done. Great to watch. There's going to be a crack at this because Jack Dimbleby, we know how quick he is. For Guy Cunnington, we've got Benjamin Lawn, and then we've got Jensen Hookey. Now, Jensen had to miss round 2. He went off to spend the day with another championship. He's back for the rest of the season, though, he tells me. He's here as a privateer. He's been run by his dad and him. They prepped the cart. In fact, when we saw him in the paddock earlier, his dad was probably off getting a cup of tea. But Jensen was busy prepping the cart, getting it ready for time qualifying. And we know how quick they are. The 77, Sam Green Gomez, is another very, very quick driver. In fact, the front end of this grid is a pretty intense front end of a junior Rotax grid here in the Junction 6 NKC. The red lights are on. Everybody stays in the tram lines and we get going. The red lights are out and it looks like it's a Guy Cunnington racing cart that leads, as we've got absolute consternation in the midfield as a number of carts have gone off in oblivion. Benjamin Lawn has lost out massively at the first turn and ended up 4th, but we've got Jensen Hookey in 2nd, latching onto the rear bumper of Jack Dimbleby, and that is Sam Green Gomez, who gets overtook for 3rd by Benjamin Lawn as Hookey challenging for the lead here into the left-hander at Parker. He's on the slippery inside line. He gets traction from somewhere, finds the grip from somewhere as everybody goes on the search. It's like finding the Holy Grail out there at the moment when it comes to grip. It just cannot be found anywhere, as we've got Jensen Hookey now leading from Jack Dimbleby, and Benjamin Lawn is back there on their bumpers. So Benjamin, he will not be happy with 3rd place. He'll be wanting to get ahead of those 2 ahead of him as Sam Green Gomez settles into 4th as the rest of the field stream through the Nouvelle Chicane. There's a lot of dirt and grass and mud and all sorts on the inside of Crook, the right-hander. As Lawn down the inside of Christmas, down the inside of Dimbleby. Can he find grip to accelerate out and towards Inkermans? He can indeed. He's in 2nd place. This is going to be a cracker now because Benjamin Lawn, he's got past Jack Dimbleby. He's off and after Jensen Hookey. We know how quick these 3 drivers are. This is a cracking battle for Junior Rotax. This is only the first heat as well. Got a full day of this, everybody. You'd be a fool not to spend the day. As down the inside has gone Lawn. What a move, as Hookey just couldn't get the cart to turn. It went straight on, understeer aplenty there, into the left-hander at Chapman. Look at Hookey. He turns in. The back end's gripping, but the front end isn't. And he couldn't get the cart to change direction. It was probably because the rear end was gripping so hard it wouldn't rotate to get the cart pointing where he wanted to be, and that has allowed Lawn through and off into the lead. Up towards Christmas, and look at the length, or the gap I should say, of that lead for Benjamin Lawn. It was only 0.8 of a second at the line. It's bigger than that. Are we going to see Lawn eking away? Well, he had a nightmare of a final. His first experience of the Maxxis tyre came in the final at Dunkswell. Never experienced the Maxxis tyre. That caught him out. He's learnt quickly because he's now gotten to grips very much with the vagaries of the Maxxis Wet in comparison to the tyres that he'd run before in other categories and other series, because Benjamin Lawn has pulled out a gap now to that second place kart there of Jensen Hookey, who scrabbles for grip out of the pit bend. Lawn across the line in the lead. The gap is 1.7 seconds. Hookey second. Guy Cunnington's Jack Dimbleby. Sam Green Gomez in fourth. Behind the top four, we've got a string of karts being led by Daniel Adamitis, Ethan Hunt, Cody Longdon, Tyler Rackham, Eden Salvage, Fenton Roderick, Hector Sadlowski in 11th. Freddie Wall is in 12th. Nico Webers started in 20th. Nico up to 13th, but just lost out to Freddie Wall there on the previous lap as the three second, third and fourth place karts come back together toward each other. Sam Green Gomez now looking very racy indeed. Just again, everybody just countering the oversteer there on the power oversteer as the rear axles just spin up when these drivers put the throttle in. It's about balancing the throttle with the grip at the rear. You don't want to slide too wide onto that very, very wet curb. As Lawn extends his lead to 2.1 seconds. Hookey, Dimbleby. Hookey's pulled away. Dimbleby has got Green Gomez for company. The yellow and blue kart of Sam Green Gomez there, absolutely on the rear bumper of Jack Dimbleby. And I was about to say, how long can Jack Dimbleby hold on to that? And look how wet that curbing is. Sam Green Gomez made the move down the inside at Ashby, ended up on the exit curb, ends up on the grass, hangs onto the kart and loses out massively. Sam Green Gomez got it all wrong there as he went into Parker. And look at that oversteer. Sees the grass coming. The little mound did him a big favour there, bounced him back onto the track there rather than, if that grass had been flat, I think he would have been even further onto the grass and kind of stifled his trajectory. But he's done really well now to get back on terms with the rear bumper of Jack Dimbleby as the leaders have already gone through. Benjamin Lawn leads by 2.7 seconds from the green and black kart there of Jensen Hookey. This is the battle for third and fourth though. Defensive line down the inside of Christmas. And he goes wide, the 64. Was he helped? Was Jack Dimbleby helped by Sam Green Gomez? We'll leave that to the officials. As Green Gomez now into third place and well ahead. Can Dimbleby come back at him? Out of Ashby, stay off the curb. Sam Green Gomez just showed us exactly how awful that exit curb is at Ashby. You want to be nowhere near that one. As the number 77 continues, he's wanting to maintain that third place, isn't he? And if anything, he has indeed maintained that third place, because that looks settled. I say settled as anything can be. There's the midfield pack that is looking very racy indeed. That looks like it's got potential entertainment written all over it. As we'll keep an eye out for Benjamin Lawn, because time is ticking down. We're almost inside the final minute. The gap between first and second has gone to now 2.9 seconds. That number 58 is a back marker. The 58 is Aaron Maidman. He's on the novice plate there. You can see that by the black number plate and the white number. Aaron just his first steps in junior Rotax karting, or indeed karting in general. We lost Jacob Jarman on lap 1, and we lost Liam Crosby pretty much on the outlap. Freddie Wall has made his way past Fenton Roderick for 7th. Tyler Rackham down to 9th. Nico Webers, who we were monitoring, from 20th. Nico just crossing the line now is dropping down the order, was 12th. He's just come by in 17th spot. Now, Nico is the onboard that we have to give us a bit of insight as to what it's like to drive around Whilton Mill. As we watch the number 50 absolutely scrabbling for grip there. Was that the number 50? I think I got that wrong. 30. Change of position. Oh, he's being lapped. Right, okay. Yeah, he is. It's Philip Jankowski. Yeah, he's a lap down now. So Philip struggling in these conditions. These conditions can absolutely be so cruel. We are on to the final lap of this race. Benjamin Lawn, 3.2 seconds. We saw this at Rowra, didn't we? We saw this from this young man at Dunkswell through the heats. He was as dominant as this. He's a Coles Racing driver. He's been prepped by his dad, who preps the kart. They've got team support in the form of Coles Racing, though. And they do a cracking job as Benjamin continues on his final lap then. And he did this at Dunkswell, like I say, but it was dry. And then he got caught out. His first experience on the Maxis Wet was the final. And basically the car just wouldn't turn, or he didn't know where the braking points were. And that absolutely was a disaster for him in the final. However, scored some great points, leading the championship. And here he goes, about to take the first heat of the weekend. Benjamin Lawn takes the first heat for this group of junior Rotax drivers. Jensen Hookey is second, Sam Green Gomez third, Jack Dimbleby fourth. A bit of a gap before we get the rest of the field coming through. Daniel Adamitis is the next driver, as the rest of the field of junior Rotax, this is groups A and B, or a mix of groups A and B. We only have two groups of juniors. As the junior Rotax finish their first heat, we see a little break in the greyness of the cloud. However, that little break of bright grey is being followed very much by dark grey. So I'm not sure how much. I mean, you can see from the picture there. Let's have a look at the result, though. This one was all about Benjamin Lawn there, who took a very fine win. Look at the gap there to Jensen Hookey. Sam Green Gomez was in third place, Jack Dimbleby fourth, Daniel Adamitis, Ethan Hunt sixth. In seventh place, Freddie Wall with Fenton Roderick, Eden Salvage, Hector Sadalowski, Tyler Rackham. 12th was Lucy Lovell. In 13th was Callum Wilson with Nico Webers. 14th, Harrison Matthews, Reese Kelsall, Cody Longdon. Harry Harvey was 18th. 19th was Jesse Whitmore with Harry Wright 20th. Then we had Libby Venus, Jake Blamey, William Spencer, Charlie White in 24th. And then Ryan Sadlier, Amelie Davey, Philip Jankowski, Aaron Maidman, Jacob Jarman and Liam Crosby were a non-finish as far as I remember. Let me just get that up and just confirm for you. Yes, indeed, we lost Jacob Jarman on lap one, and Liam Crosby, I'm pretty sure, didn't take the start. Got another senior Rotax, or another senior Rotax out for their heat. This time it's the 162 kilogram category, the lighter of the senior Rotax classes, out for their first heat. Now this is groups A and B. We've got another senior Rotax heat after this one, which will be for groups C and D. Really healthy senior Rotax grid this weekend for round 3. 58 events, that's 13 more than round 2. Let's have a look at the grid and how it's going to line up for this lot. Ollie Varney on the front row, Kieran Gifford alongside, Jensen Watts, Macaulay Osson. Wow, this is going to be a cracker. Riley Thatcher, Dylan Morton on the third row, Taylor Dixon and Kieran Hammond on row 4, Luke Evans, Bradley House on 5, Charlie Hume and Jacob Felton on 6. Row 7 is Leo French and Joseph Mills, Sebastian Benson and Blake Ticehurst on 8. Row 9 is John Hobbs and Arthur Thacker. With row 10 looking like this, James Wood and Callum Scrivens, Alexander Campbell and Ethan Lomax on 11. Row 12 is Zenzong Lim and Fia Maru. And then on row 13, Jacob Mockler, Joshua Priest, Jamie Kidney and Cameron Davey line up on 27th, 28th, with 29 carts taking this one. Jack Wilch is the driver that rounds off the field.
Frank is telling us there's more rain coming from behind us. So this brief
it's raining now.
Sun.
It's raining
Here
now.
comes more rain.
Now,
and it's quite a lot. Yes, it is raining. That's what it does.
Can you see what tyres they're on, Nick? 'Cause I can't see.
Certainly, the guy there on the front left is on wet.
Yeah, that's number 7. That's Kieran Gifford. But what a first 3 rows. This is going to be an absolute belter. Just going to get that up, Nick, so I can talk about them while they're not in front of me. Senior Road Tax Heats. It's, look at this. Ollie Varney, Kieran Gifford, Jensen Watts, Macaulay Austin, winner of the Dunks round, remember. Riley Thatcher. They were, Ollie Varney was quickest in Group 1 with a 59.9. Kieran Gifford, completely different track conditions, 61.3. He was quickest in Group 2. Third in the Group 1 was Jensen Watts. Third in Group 2 was Macaulay Austin. That's how we're forming the grid, by the way. Fifth in Group 1, Riley Thatcher. Fifth in Group 2, Dylan Morton, so on and so forth. These are the odd-numbered grids. C and D will be the even-numbered qualifying times, if you like. Now then, they're going to be given 2 laps, I believe, Nick. I say Nick. Nick's producing today. He'll be back tomorrow to tell us about his antics. So I do note that these senior Rotax drivers are not really bothering to weave around at all. They are probably concerned that the track, albeit it is raining, the track isn't soaking wet, it's just damp. And if the rain stops, which it has done consistently, stop, start. Horrible day for karting, horrible day for motorsport. If you run a slick and a wet tyre, that is. Because you've been on and off with those slicks and wets pretty much for the whole day. Here we go then. Kieran Gifford, Ollie Varney, bringing the field around. The red lights have gone off. We've got a start, and it gets very crowded there. It's a blue and white cart there that goes off, and I'm not quite sure. We've got a spinner. The number 124 has done a spin of 90 degrees. That was Luke Evans. He needs a change on aisle 4, I think, a change of underwear on aisle 4 for Luke Evans there. He had the whole field bearing down on him. There's a massive change. Who's that at the front? It's the number 25, 45. Is that Macaulay Austin, who loses out to the number 7, Kieran Gifford at Ashby? He comes back at him and goes back into the lead. It's the number 45 of Macaulay Austin, all right. He's on the TT Motorsport cart, isn't he, as far as I can see? And Macaulay Austin, who was an outstanding form, done some racing in America, hasn't he? Henry Baudet was telling us. Been doing some spanner work and some racing in America, and already looking like he didn't make round 2. I'm not quite sure. I can't remember why. As this field of senior Rotax, this is the 162 kilogram category. We've got a contact warning for Kieran Gifford. I'm not sure if that was in any way could have been avoided. Jensen Watts is the driver in 3rd place. He's with TH Corsa on a Venator engine, the orange helmet there that you can see. As Ollie Varney from the front row of the grid ends up on in 4th place, but he's not done for the day, is he? That is Bradley Howes and Riley Thatcher. Dylan Morton drops down to 7th. And now we've got the 25, Ollie Varney, down the inside of Jensen Watts there. Watts comes back with traction though. Look at that. It looked like Ollie Varney went into slow motion as Jensen Watts had the line with the grip and proved to be the case. The 93 here. Powers around the boot, across the chicane. Kieran Gifford hangs on to that rear bumper of Macaulay Austin. That contact warning still showing for the number 7. I'm pretty sure that's still the same one. That will be taken in now as Jensen Watts has Ollie Varney right there on his rear bumper. And Watts down the inside line at Christmas. It's where the grip is. It's not so much defensive driving as a spin for Bradley Howes on the blue and white cart of KGR. Bradley Howes has a harmless spin coming out of Inkermans, I think that was, or indeed out of Christmas through the left-hander before Inkermans. And that's how easy it is. You just get it all wrong. You get on the power a bit too early. You spin the rear wheels up. The rear axle starts spinning up and the car just springs away from you. As Jensen Watts handling the pressure of Ollie Varney now. Two very, very experienced drivers here. Jensen Watts, our champion in this class, remember, in 2024. Just missed out last year in 25. Went to the final round in contention. Scrabbling across all of the curb there. But here is a challenge for the lead. Kieran Gifford. The orange and white and black cart there is Macaulay Austin. The blue and white cart of KGR, Kieran Gifford Racing, is Kieran Gifford himself, team principal, team owner. As down the inside has gone Ollie Varney, and he looks like he's in third place just behind these two. We've had a change for position. It is indeed. Ollie Varney is ahead of Jensen Watts. Jensen trying to find the grip there. Fires out of the left-hander at Chapman. As we are at half distance in the first heat for our first look at senior Rotax 162s. And it's no change there. Contact warning for Ollie Varney. So Ollie Varney made his way past Jensen Watts, and then a contact warning appears. Cause and effect, I think, is the term. And Jensen Watts will be wanting to come back, but it's looking like Jensen Watts is falling back off the rear bumper of Ollie Varney. Indeed, it looks like Kieran Gifford is falling back off the rear bumper of Macaulay Austin as well. Our leader still on the orange and white card. That's third place driver there, Ollie Varney, with Jensen Watts with the orange helmet giving chase. Behind them, Dylan Morton. He's the driver with the bright white helmet and the red overalls. And then behind them, we've got Taylor Dixon, Kieran Hammond, Riley Thatcher, Charlie Hume, John Hobbs, Bradley Howes, who we saw have that spin just going towards Inkermans there, recovers to 11th. Ethan Lomax has gone ahead of Alexander Campbell. Blake Ticehurst, who started in 16th, he's up to 14th now. James Wood started in 19th, he's up to 15th. As the leading four carts, there's a lonely fifth place in the form of Dylan Morton. There is Taylor Dixon, who drove so well at Rowrah. Contact warning for the 53. That's down the order though, I think. That's way down the order. 53 is Jack Welch, who's down in 25th. As we've got this lead four now beginning to kind of pull, sort of spread out a little bit with equidistant gaps between first and second, third and fourth. Macaulay Austin, Kieran Gifford, Ollie Varney, Jensen Watts. That's the 25 of Ollie Varney. That's our third place driver, who, if anything, is he catching Kieran Gifford? Let's see what the gap is. 1.5 seconds, the gap between third and second. Now that gap's, if anything, 1.4. It's about the same. So he's not catching. They're lapping him just over a minute as well, so we've got time for two more laps after this one, as the rest of the field come through Oblivion and Crook. Seems to have settled down now, as settled as you can be in these conditions. It's very, very easy to make a mistake. One, pressing the brake a little bit too hard going into the braking area can cause the rear end to lock, and on this greasy track you can just lose control. So we tend to take it for granted that these drivers will do everything correctly. They are driving absolutely superbly in these conditions. Very, very tricky. It's not raining at the moment, so the track is beginning to evolve. Fastest lap there, 60.948 from our leader, Macaulay Austin. Let's see what he puts in this time as he crosses the line. No, fastest lap of the race this time is for Kieran Gifford in second place. And if anything, as the track dries, it seems to play back into the hands of the second place white and blue cart there of Kieran Gifford. We've got about a lap and a half of this first heat remaining. We'll get a look at the other half of the senior Rotax 162s next time as Gifford goes down the inside of Macaulay Austin, and just what I was saying there about getting it wrong and just pressing the brake a little bit too hard. We had Macaulay Austin who comes back into the lead, but there's the traction for Gifford. The traction for Gifford looks like he was shot out of a cannon out of Chapman, and it was all about Macaulay Austin making that mistake and just sliding, just couldn't get off that damp patch of track into Ashby's. There it is on the brakes there. The kart was slewing to the right, and he had to get it back and get it to rotate to the left, and that's what caused him the time. That's what's caused him the lead. As we've got Kieran Gifford, who undoubtedly his kart has come into play, and as I say that, as the track got drier, the rain has started again. However, time is running out for Macaulay Austin, who does the same thing at the same place and loses second place but comes back. It was Ollie Varney who took advantage that time. Time is running out as Ollie Varney goes down the inside of Chapman. It's going to be shot out of a cannon with traction going towards the boot now as Macaulay Austin on the orange and white kart makes room even less of a significant factor going towards the boot, and Ollie Varney did well to just sit there as Kieran Gifford, in a masterclass of patience there, waited on the rear bumper of Macaulay Austin. Let's have a look at this again. Austin moves across to the left before the turning point. Not sure how the officials will view that one, but that was a deliberate attempt there by Macaulay Austin to intimidate Ollie Varney. It takes more than that to intimidate a driver of the experience of Ollie Varney, though, who just sat there and said, yep, okay, mate. And that was really, really good, aggressive driving from all of our field there. Here's the result then. Kieran Gifford, Ollie Varney, Macaulay Austin, Jensen Watts, Dylan Morton, Taylor Dixon, 6th place. In 7th, Kieran Hammond, with Riley Thatcher, Blake Ticehurst, Bradley House, Charlie Hume, Alexander Campbell in 12th. 13th with Ethan Lomax, John Hobbs, James Wood, Joseph Mills, Jacob Felton, Sebastian Benson. And then we've got Arthur Thacker, Callum Scrivens, Luke Evans and Zenzong Lim. Jamie Kidney with Leo French in 24th. And then Jack Welch, Jacob Mockler, Joshua Priest, Via Maru, the novice, and Cameron Davey, rounding off 29 karts. All right, it's spread out a little bit at the end, but then as the track dried momentarily, it all came back towards Kieran Gifford and indeed Ollie Varney, with Macaulay Austin not quite having the same sort of handling as we saw in the early stages. But that bodes well for the rest of the weekend. We've got the next group of senior Rotax out, and with that rain continuing to fall, the track is going to get wetter. It's kind of decided everything with regards to tyres, because the track for just a moment there was beginning to look like it was going to dry. However, the sky was full. We've got dark grey clouds above us, but we've got light grey clouds coming from our left.
And tomorrow morning looks nicer. And it's now saying potential for rain about lunchtime. Only potential. Really? Yes, he's chucking it down now, judging by the way the drips are falling down the window. Here's the grid for this one,
I've
Joe.
got a forecast that says 8 o'clock tomorrow night. Let's have a look at the grid then for this. This is groups C and D, isn't it? And we've got Jack Maidman, Ben Ballou on the front row, Finlay Underwood and Mason Perrin on row 2, Sean Rudge and former champion Bobby Rosier on row 3. Row 4 is Reece Green and Sam Wyatt, Kyle Dunford and George Hume, Ryan Shepherd and Zari Visarek. Row 7, let's wait for it, is George Isgrove and Kai Pepperell. And then we've got Robbie Rigby and Ben Harper on 18th. 19th is Thomas Hassoud and Harvey Lee Wintridge. Jensen Hartshorn on 21st with Zach Fletcher, Jack Theobald. Nathan Jensen on 24th with 25th Isaac Reynolds. Grizzly Davies, Oakley Garthwaite, who didn't post a time in qualifying, remember. Chris Yordanov who did post a time in qualifying. So Oakley Garthwaite, not taking part in qualifying for whatever reason, now finds himself on the back of the grid for all of his 3 heats. So, pressure off Oakley. He's with he is with Origin. It's proper rain now, isn't it? That is proper coming down. So, again, that I think takes away the inconsistency of the kind of track condition that we've had. It's going to be full wet. We're going to have full wet conditions for these drivers. So it's going to be the bravest of the brave that come through as the red lights go out. We are racing Ben Ballou, Jack Maidment, the front row of the grid, head towards oblivion. The spray, look at the spray, look how wet this track is as cart spear off to our right. Everybody, it looks like the majority, we've got a cart off to the left-hand side out of Crook, as we've got Ben Ballou in the lead on the KGR cart of Kieran Gifford Racing, with what looks like a Roalf Racing cart in second place as we head down towards Ashby's for the first time. People still settling there with 24 there. Was that 24 or 54? I saw just coming through. Hard to see now outside across the murk of this rain, as we've got the number 11 Finlay Underwood went into the lead only momentarily through Chapman. We've seen that as the number 3 Ben Ballou had the grip on his line through there. We're into the boot for the first time, and squeezing down the inside has gone Finlay Underwood. He's made that happen, and he will lead across the line for the first time in this, the senior Rotax heat for Group C and D. Underwood, Ballou, Bobby Rosier up into third. It's a Roalf Racing 1 and 3 at the moment, with Jack Maidment, Carl Dunford, Mason Perrin, George Hume, Braden Hill, Sam Wyatt in 9th. 10th is Jack Theobald, having come up 10 places from 23rd on the grid. That was his starting position. He's come up to 10, 13 places in fact, as down the inside has gone Ballou. Oh, they run out of space, and who's this coming through? Bobby Rosier says thank you very much and takes advantage of Finlay Underwood being on the outside of the track. It's Jack Maidment there in 4th place, with Mason Perrin for MP in that 6th place. George Hume, Braden Hill, but the leader is very much now Ben Ballou on the white and blue cart of KGR, fighting the grip there out of the boot and into the chicane. And just look how wet that track is now. It's plumes of spray coming up from the rear axles of these carts. As Sam Wyatt there in 9th. We've got Braden Hill moving ahead of Mason Perrin. Sam Wyatt, Jack Theobald, George Hume. Sam Wyatt up to 8th. Just outside the top 10 is Ryan Shepherd, George Isgrove and Harvey Lee Winteridge, as are coming together there for 4th place Jack Maidment, the number 17. Jack Maidment just mistimed his braking here and slides into the back of Finlay Underwood. If anything, that might have dislodged his front bumper as well. He hit him that hard. You saw Finlay Underwood's neck come back, and that is the leader, Ben Ballou. We rejoin after the replay with Ben Ballou on the grass and the 2 Roalf carts in the lead, with Rosier and Underwood now they can work team tactics. Now they know we're not going to fight, says Underwood. He said to Bobby Rosier, get on with it. Rosier off and away now in the lead, and his Finlay Underwood, his teammate at Roalf Racing, goes after him. They can control the pace at the front. They don't have to squabble, with a warning contact for the number 3. That was something that we did not see. We were too busy having a look at a replay. Something's happened there between Ben Ballou and someone else. That warning's come in now. So, let's get a grip of this. Here we have the 2 leaders, the 2 bright yellow and blue Roalf liveried carts of Roalf Racing of Bobby Rosier and Finlay Underwood, off and away through Parker, now into Chapman. They're able to use the ideal line because they're not having to defend or challenge anybody. They can just get on with their driving and finding the optimum grip line on this very wet Wilton Mill track here. Out of the boot, just past half distance now, using all of the curb and more at the chicane. It's Ben Ballou with Braden Hill and Mason Perrin right behind. Mason Perrin, remember, 2023 junior champion. We've got Braden Hill as well. I seem to remember being a front runner in juniors. Here comes the number 3 though, Ben Ballou, after that excursion onto the grass followed by a contact warning. That may have been a clue as to what happened there. He's coming back towards the rear bumper of Finlay Underwood. 3 minutes on the board, plenty of time for Ballou to catch, which he's doing. There's no question he's made up a huge amount of ground from that second place number 11. This is allowing Bobby Rosier to break free, because very soon Finlay Underwood is going to have to concern himself with that white and blue cart of Ben Ballou. Now they look pretty spaced out there up the slightly uphill straight towards Christmas, and then into every braking area you've got Ben Ballou taking metres out of that gap to Underwood, and he's right with him now. Down the inside, no he doesn't, he slots back in. They're at the hairpin at Ashby's, the downhill right-hander. Off towards Parker through the left. Oh, and he gets it wrong there. Underwood hits the curb on the inside, slew sideways. Didn't cost him anything. Absolutely torrential now, this rain. The track is absolutely saturated. You can see, just look at the spray that's been kicked up by these carts. As Ballou looks like he's really good on the brakes on that KGR liveried cart. As Underwood tries to remain composed. There's 1 minute and 40 seconds on the clock. It's going to be 3 more laps of this race. And just look at how much water now is falling and how much water is sitting on this track. Puddles beginning to appear for the first time today. We've only had light rain up until this point. Now it's pretty heavy and it's wetting the track properly here. Pretty consistently. Very wet conditions now. And as the first 3, if anything, look like they're coming back together. This could still go anywhere. Bobby Rosier looks in control here. Finlay Underwood, Ben Ballou chasing him down. Concertinaing together. Ballou just wiping the spray from his visor as he gets ever closer to that Finlay Underwood rear bumper. He's going to pick up spray. There's a lot of dirt being brought onto the track as well, so it's not going to be necessarily clear water as well. Things look under control at the front here. Dare I say it, it's going to be the last lap board next time by for Bobby Rosier, who's pulled out a bit of a gap right where he needs it, right towards the end of this heat. As Ballou down the inside of Underwood, that was all about coming out of through Oblivion and out of Crook, and the momentum that he carried up the hill got him alongside Finlay Underwood. With 1 more lap of racing, he's giving me the impression that with the kind of pace he's now got with Finlay Underwood behind him, can he catch Bobby Rosier onto the back straight? There's a back marker going to come into play just ahead of our leader. So as I think that looks like Grace Lee Davies. Oh, and Bobby Rosier wasn't quite held up enough for Ben Ballou, who scythes past the back marker there. Underwood, not so much there. The back marker's not at fault though, kept to the line. This is going to go all the way down to the flag as Ben Ballou just catches him centimetre by centimetre. These two drivers at the front of this field. Bobby Rosier, Ben Ballou, certainly contenders for top honours tomorrow, along with another grid of karts, of course, with some equally quick drivers. When they all come together in the final, it's an absolute treat. As Bobby Rosier goes into the boot for the final time then, for the final time this afternoon. Groups C and D complete their first heat across the Nouvelle Chicane using all of that curb and more. It'll be Bobby Rosier that sees the flag first. Checkered flag flies. Rosier takes the win. Baloo second. Underwood third. And then that battle between Braden Hill and Mason Perrin has raged pretty much the whole race, with Sam Wyatt, a very fine sixth place from started in that sort of area in eighth. George Hill was seventh. Jack Maidman eighth. Harvey Lee Winteridge ninth. And Oakley Garthwaite, what a drive. Oakley Garthwaite didn't take part in qualifying, qualified, therefore started in 27th, and Garthwaite up to 9th at the flag. Now we will start at the back again, unfortunately, because it's time qualifying, but there's the result. Bobby Rosier, Ben Ballou, Finlay Underwood, Braden Hill, Mason Perrin, Sam Wyatt in 6th, 7th is George Hume, Jack Maidment, driver of the race, Oakley Garthwaite, Harvey Lee Winteridge, Jack Theobald 11th, 12th was Ryan Shepherd, in 13th, Sean Rudge, with Ben Harper, Isaac Reynolds, George Isgrove, Nathan Jensen, Reese Green finishing 18th. He started in 7th, so a problem there. Kai Pepperell, Thomas Assoud, Farad Arian, Grace Lee Davies was 22nd. And then we had Chris Jordanov, who I don't think finished. Jensen Hartshorn didn't finish. Carl Dunford didn't finish. Savary Visarek went out on lap 1, and Robbie Rigby didn't come round to take the start. Well, everybody, that concludes our coverage for this afternoon. It concludes our first set of heats.
Yep.
We will be back tomorrow morning.
We will. Starting
with the next bout of heats at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Bright and early, even.
Bright and early.
9 o'clock.
We kick things off at 9 o'clock, and it'll be Junior Rotax Groups B and C that will entertain us.
We have 8 heats, 8 super heats, and some finals. 8 finals, is it?
A lot of finals.
A lot of finals.
With B finals.
Well, we've got lots of finals. It's non-stop entertainment, possibly. Yes, so thank you, Joe. Thank you to Ash, and thank you to Frank, who've been very brave out in the wet. And thank you to the mystery man who kept cleaning camera 2. That was great. Mystery person, clean camera 2. Thank you very much. There is a macaron for you in the commentary booth. But that's it for us today.
Is it what, a French president?
Who knows?
It's a macaroon, isn't it?
No, macaroon. One of the two. If you want, you can visit the Pompidou Centre as well. It's fine. Or just get the Stang might turn up. I'm running out of French presidents now.
Yes,
anyway, so we'll see you all tomorrow, and have a absolutely marvellous day.